phantasm? Is it a nightmare? Phantasm. Is it an illusion? Phantasm.
What the fuck is up, Splatter Fucks? And welcome to another episode of the Phantasm Podcast. I am Corey Gore Christ. With me, to my right, Dr. Vincent West.
Where no one is safe.
And we have a killer movie today for you guys. Killer interview as well. We talked with Tobias from Vomitory and Cut Up, now being in Cut Up, which is, if you haven't heard, Forensic Nightmares came out almost a year ago on Metal Blade Records. Definitely fucking pick that shit up. So yeah, we got that coming at you guys a little bit later. Actually an hour long, so it's a really awesome interview. Got a lot of shit, discussed, and it was actually very...
It's supposed to have been short, and he knocked it out of the park for us.
Yeah, it was...
thank you so much.
Very informative, and, we can't thank you enough for doing that. But to the film we have today, it's an interesting one. We're bringing the holiday horror way too early, which is, it's great. So we got Silent Night, Deadly Night that we're watching today. Usually don't even watch this around Christmas time. This is good for any time of year. But, it's Christmas in late May for us today.
If you've got Showtime and the movie channel, all that packaged together, if you've got cable out there, this thing's kind of doing its rounds on those channels right now.
Really?
And it's a different version than what we're actually viewing. We're actually viewing the uncut version of this, which is... I wish the cut version was on here as well, because I'm kind of a nerd and like to have both of those. But we don't. But we've got the uncut version for you guys today. And... I saw this at the theater. This thing came out in 1984. TriStar Pictures, which is owned by Sony.
Right.
And this thing came out. Here's some just little fun stuff about it. It came out, and yeah, it says my age. I know. I'm ancient. Saw this November 9th, 1984 is when it came out.
Ugly ass baby in this scene. That's probably the most horrifying thing that you'll see in this whole film is that fucking baby.
I don't know, the creepy old guy, his grandfather,
yeah,
the person at the nursing home's a little weird. But guess what, guys? I do have a surprise for you out there. My haircut has returned to this film.
So it went from the fog to this movie.
Yeah, I mean, my haircut was definitely... I got a trimmed bowl later, so this is a trimmed bowl here.
So you saw the fog and you had the bowl cut.
The long
and
bowl.
When you did this, yeah, the long bowl. Now you have the trim bowl.
I call it the Skywalker bowl. It's like when Mark kind of cleaned it up a little bit.
The Lukey Luke.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
not the Marky Mark, the Lukey Luke.
This film was very controversial. When this thing came out, I remember... My mom, which this is how awesome my mom is. My mom actually got my friend Peter and I into this film and then split. Had no idea. I wouldn't tell her that was Santa running around hacking people. But anyway, a lot of controversy on this. In fact, if you buy the Blu-ray that we're watching of this right now that was put up by the folks at Anchor Bay, it actually has all of the quotes as a bonus feature of all the people being offended by this film.
It's awesome. It's very essential. You need that.
But this film...
this is probably one of the most unliked films critically of all time. Like, I would have loved to them... they put this movie back out in theaters or something, and they did... You know how movies now, it's like 10 out of 10, and it's got like 5 stars everywhere from like the Tribune and the New York Times and Time Magazine and all that. They should have all those, but it's all the negative quotes about it, so that'll draw people in to see the film.
Here's you a fun fact. The film was released theatrically in the United States, and its opening weekend, it outgrossed and smoked the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Did it really? That's fucking insane.
I'll let you read that there for everybody.
I guess it was a sleeper film that actually... wow.
Which is pretty... Pretty awesome. In fact, and I'm going to take some shit for this. I'll take this film any day over the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm a big fan of this film.
And this movie
I think
came
this
out,
film is sick.
This movie came out after Christmas, competed with Nightmare on Elm Street
Before.
and beat it out. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it sure did. It's and again, I'm going to take some shit for that, but I really like this film. I've always liked it. So I laughed my ass off watching this as a kid in the theater. I thought it was fucking hilarious. It's just so much. It's gory. It's fun. Linnea Quigley's nude in it.
What is she not nude in?
I don't know, but it's so much. It's so much fun. But
It's like
actually,
a contractual obligation for her to show her tits in every film.
and thank God for that.
Yeah. Well, not now, but
Right.
Then,
Then, yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Night of the Demons, Return of the Living Dead, and of course, what we're watching, Silent Night, Deadly Night. And actually, I'm gonna find it here. I've got a little treat for you guys. I don't normally do this, but I'm gonna find this.
Oh, I see what you're doing. This is going to be good if you can get it.
Pretty sure it's on here. I'm gonna play this for you guys. It's very short, but it's fucking hilarious. Okay, here you go. This is At the Movies 1984 review, Siskel and Ebert of Silent Night, Deadly Night.
This is just great. This made me want to watch it even more when I saw this.
Coming up next at the movies, a film that dreams about a red Christmas.
Okay, we're having some audio issues. I'm actually going to have Corey pull this up because my phone, and I apologize, is a prepaid piece of shit. We're going to get that to you in just a second. Anyway.
Also, that video's really old. It seems like they pulled it from a fucking VHS tape, so we'll see.
Hopefully we can get the audio up for this, guys, because if you got to hear this. It's fucking hilarious. Anyway, we're with Grandpa, which scares the hell out of, well, any young kid.
All right, here
he
we
looks
go.
like fucking Kenny Rogers, but...
Coming up next at the movies, a film that dreams about a red Christmas. It was the night before Christmas. We all through the house. Not a creature was staring all through the house. Not a creature was staring.
You can always pull the audio from the movie, too, and put it on here. I'll just do that.
This week, the controversial Santa Claus killer movie, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Actually, there have been two controversies about Silent Night, Deadly Night. Even before the film was released a couple of weeks ago, its TV ad campaign caused a furor with its brief depiction of an axe-carrying Santa Claus. The distributor of this film, TriStar Pictures, which is co-owned by Columbia Pictures, CBS, and Home Box Office, pulled the commercial out of release after a week of protests by parents led by a Milwaukee group. Of course, commercials like that usually die out after a week anyway, so thanks a lot, fellas. But there's no question in my mind that the showing of Santa with an axe on free TV and commercials is sick and sleazy and mean-spirited. So let's repeat the names of the people who did it. TriStar Pictures, co-owned by Columbia Pictures, CBS, and Home Box Office. Shame on you. Now, as for the film...
Fuck you.
It's worse than the TV ads. Telling a typical mad slasher story about a boy who witnesses his father being shot and his mother being stabbed to death by a maniac in a Santa Claus suit. So now the traumatized kid grows up and is asked to work in a toy store as Santa one Christmas, and it freaks him out. He impales one naked girl on a set of antlers. There's another woman with a bow and arrow, and another with a knife, and yet we even see Santa give one little girl a bloody knife as a gift, and threaten another little girl with physical punishment as he sits on.
It's the Doctor as Santa.
You might think that it would be from Roger or Perry. It's played as quite sick as
Dr. Claus.
So let me repeat the names of the writer and director and producers of this film.
Please do.
Michael Hickey wrote the film, Charles E. Sellier Jr. directed it, and Ira Richard Barmack produced it. You people have nothing to be proud of, even if you made a few bucks off of all the negative publicity. Your profits truly are blood money. And Silent Night, Deadly Night now has the distinction of joining I Spit on Your Grave as one of the two most contemptible films I have seen. And I don't mean to think it's campy. It really is quite awful. I'm glad you mentioned those people's names because quite frequently they think, gee, we'll make this exploitation film, we'll be able to buy our Mercedes and live in Bel Air and nobody will ever know what we did. But I would like to hear them explaining to their children and their grandchildren that it's only a movie. I think that would be a real interesting explanation.
Now, here's what I don't get about all that shit, is that they bring up, they have to explain, these are the same types of people that, don't accept gay marriage because you have to explain to your your grandchildren or your children's children. It's like, first of all, the people that take their kids, if the people that take their kids to see Silent Night, Deadly Night, they probably understand that's a horror film, and there's going to be stabbing and tits and drugs and like domestic violence. It's like what the fuck do you expect out of a film that's rated R with that title? So people that bring their kids to these films, if they somehow are just blind to the fact that it's like, well, I didn't know what it was. It's like you don't have to explain. You don't have to explain shit to anybody. Children are going to figure stuff out on their own. It's like, do you think I figured out? Had anyone explain to me what The Exorcist was before I turned it on HBO when I was 5? No, I just watched it and I figured it out on my own. That it scared the fuck out of me and made me piss my pants and not want to sleep in my own bedroom for a week. And did my mom feel responsible for it? I mean, yeah, I guess as a parent, you feel responsible for what your kids fucking do. But she was always open to me watching that kind of stuff, so
which is awesome.
She knew that I wasn't a fucking retard, and that if I needed explaining, all she had to explain was, listen, son, it's a movie, it's not real. Oh, it's not? No. Problem solved.
Well, what I think's funny about that, all they really did, even though they were trying to embarrass the movie makers in that clip we played you guys from '84,
they made it sound amazing.
All you did was you sold it and you promoted it.
Yeah.
Because most people watching that, the only person that's going to watch a review of Silent Night, Deadly Night back then was someone that was interested in seeing it, and all you did was sold the fucking film.
And somebody that was interested in seeing how bad the Siskel and Ebert was gonna. Trash it and
right.
Make you want to see it even more.
Right. And now we have the original
Santa killer.
Robber. He is a killer, but he's kind of just a scared robber, and he's his car's broke down. Yeah. There I'm running with my haircut, and I'm going to go hide.
You got your Keds on and your fucking
I do have my Keds
Wrangler
on.
jeans.
Fucking A. Nah, Levi's.
Hey, Levi's?
Yeah.
You had the Levi's?
I was chilling in the Levi's. Yeah, I didn't do the... Wrangler was always gathered. I mean, we leave that for Colton and Justin, but anyway.
You weren't doing the Brett Favre jeans?
No.
Okay. Levi's.
Yeah,
Levi's more Chuck Norris, I think.
I think so, too.
The Wranglers are for Brett Favre. I'm old just for men throwing a football at my dog,
But anyway, so...
Getting a close shave.
The kid's mom's getting raped here, which I thought was, this is sick, but it's awesome. He wanted to see her tits. Now he's hit her. He's going to get a little bit of that.
I mean, this movie's sleazy, but if you think of
it's great.
If you think of the whole premise of it, it's like it's a killer Santa movie.
I mean, I would rather watch this than It's a Wonderful Life. I don't like the holidays. So for me as a kid, this made me laugh.
You have your whole family in that you don't ever see, and it's awkward, and then nobody gets. You get. They give you better gifts than you got them, and you feel like shit. It's just a big competition.
It's a foot long.
Yeah, so. Going out to see this,
your other may actually end up. I mean, I'm not saying this is the case for you and me, but I've been in a situation in the past where, true story. Let's do a little sharing a second. I didn't know rant, just sharing.
The doctor speaks. Here we go.
This girl that I was dating from Ohio had came down to see me for Christmas, so I'm expecting a really great gift.
Sure.
And this is a true story. I bought her at the time. This was a long time ago. I bought her a really fancy, expensive in-trunk. I had to have it installed for. It was expensive. I spent several $100s on this. It was an in-trunk, like load your CDs into it.
Oh, wow, okay.
CD player. And at the time, this was hot shit. It was like Pioneer, too. Like
it had its own little Turner thing where
in the trunk, and you load it full, and then she could enjoy it, driving around.
That was like the hot shit.
And I was doing this to kind of say, I really care about you. I love you or whatever. And you know what I got? I am not making this up.
A kiss on the cheek and not the lips?
No. This is...
Worse?
This is the worst Christmas gift I've ever got. That's what the point of this story. Watching Silent Night, Deadly Night, I wanted to go Santa crazy and kill her with a fucking hammer. Or put her through some, something. The glass, antlers, whatever. But I got, and I'm not joking... Very expensive, again, in the trunk, Pioneer, CDs, CD player, in the trunk. Spent all this money to have it installed at Circuit City, and I got a fucking jigsaw puzzle.
A jigsaw puzzle?
That's what I got.
Was it of her naked?
No.
What the hell was it? Like a train?
It was a Star Wars jigsaw puzzle.
Oh my god!
That she gave a Star Trek fan.
That you get it like.
It's not that it gets even Star Wars, but
she bought it at like the Dollar General.
Walgreens or something.
Wow.
You know, I got a jigsaw puzzle for a $400 stereo system.
That's insane. And now when you grow up, when you're older in the orphanage, now you have a mullet.
Well, that's not me anymore, but
you were just when you were younger, and then
correct.
The mullet took over.
But yeah, yeah.
That's fun.
So the holidays suck. So this movie always appealed to me. It appealed to me. That was years before that.
For me, everyone's had a shitty Christmas, I would imagine. But for me, my worst gift, and I've had a Christmas where me and my brother were left alone because, my family had to work and they just had poor planning and nobody came to see us. So we were sitting by the tree that had nothing underneath it but like one gift, and we had to go out late at night and like get presents from a fucking church and like shit donated to us, and it was like
Jesus.
Yeah, it was very, very sad. The only thing we got, it was this little see-through Volkswagen plastic, like Volkswagen Beetle, and it had these terrible candies in it. And you just open the trunk and there's like candy. That was our present. We had to share it. And the candy tasted like our Christmas. It tasted absolutely fucking horrible.
That's awful.
Yeah. And that's a true story. We had it.
You got me beat on that.
We had
Mom
to.
Was about getting a shitty gift.
We were alone, and then late at night when my mom got off work, we had to go out to like a mission or somewhere like that where they did these toy drives, and we were one of those people that had to get toys donated to us, like toys that were already played with, and it was fucking crazy. But that's
how old were you?
I was like 7, maybe 6 or 7.
You remember it though.
It's very vividly.
It scarred you.
Yeah, it did a little bit. Yeah.
That's the year. Got to give it up here for that. That's some serious sharing.
That's when I realized even when I was younger, 1, Santa isn't real. 2, Jesus isn't real, and 3, Christmas isn't important. It's just another day. And once that moment happened, and you watch a film like this, it kind of fills the void where you're like. Not to be sentimental here, but it's like this movie is like,
filled with rage.
Yeah, but when you get older. When I was younger, I didn't understand it. I was like, no one.
He doesn't either. He's just a kid here chilling,
So I'm little Billy in this.
You are. Or he is Billy.
I never felt remorse or hatred, even when I got older, really. But I
don't know that he does in this. I think he's just pissed.
Right, but in this movie, watching this,
you should feel bitter.
Yeah, watching this brings back a lot of bad memories, but they don't feel as don't make me feel really empty like it did. It's kind of funny now.
Get the hammer.
Yeah, it's funny now because you can watch this movie and be like, well, this kid took a different approach to how he hates Christmas. He just started hacking people up. So.
If you're a horror person, you've never seen this film. Again, it's old, it's dated, whatever. I mean, I love it. This is when I grew up, but for me. And like what Corey was saying, this is a good film if you're not a holiday person. No. This is a good thing to just kind of be like, you know what, fuck the holidays. I'm gonna watch some people get fucking hacked.
Plus, I'm also weird, and I'll be like, let's watch this movie, and then people are like, this isn't Elf. I don't watch this. Like, well, this is what I like.
Right.
You need to have a horror film. There's a horror film for every fucking holiday. There's a goddamn Labor Day Massacre somewhere out there.
But
New Year's Evil and
right. Well, here's another
Father's
good example.
Day.
You and I watch the Halloween films all year round.
Yeah, those are perfect. Halloween 3.
It doesn't have to be Halloween.
I've watched Halloween 3.
It's not a seasonal thing for me. Let's go to the store and rent / buy / illegally download horror movies for Halloween. Fuck that.
That's most of the movies I have anyway. So
in fact, to some degree, as a horror fan, I've always felt, Halloween's kind of sucks because I felt like everybody's jumping in on my shit that day.
Well, a lot of people are also. It's like I'm going to be Wolverine from fucking.
But I just feel like it just jumps in on my shit.
Halloween used to be fun because it was more about everyone's trying to outdo each other and be scary. There's some boob grabbing.
This year will be different. We're going to have I'm sure, a spectacular Halloween episode. We have no idea.
There's just tits jiggling everywhere in this scene. It's like watching these people fuck in the orphanage.
The religious stuff that's going on in this movie.
You filthy devil! And then it's just boom.
Has it all, really.
Yeah, it's just...
he's about to get his lily white butt spanked.
That's the other cool thing is that this is a Christmas film, but it's also like serious religious oppression in this film, and it fuels the anger. It's a really nice touch because it's like... the religion is very prominent in this film.
Definitely.
More so than the Christmas aspect. You're seeing more of the religious part where...
What kind of ruins it for me anymore.
Well, and it's the Catholic religion, too. It's even worse. It's like Mother Superior is going to have your ass. Which this scene's fucking hilarious. I got to unmute it. This is where they whip Billy, and it's just kind of... It's funny. I think the scene's hysterical.
What did you see upstairs, William? Nothing, Mother Superior. Do you know what they were doing? Mother Superior. Good.
He's like, I know what boobs are.
What they were doing was something very, very naughty. They thought they could do it without being caught. But when we do something naughty, we are always caught. And then we are punished. Punishment is absolute.
What did he do?
He looked through the keyhole and saw him fucking.
He's about to get his lily white butt spanked.
Because of course he's a peeper, you know.
I was a peeper as a kid.
Yeah.
Yes, Mother Superior.
You're curious, you know. You're curious as a kid. I saw my babysitter Beverly Wade.
That's a good babysitter name.
Jerk off a dude.
Jesus. Here we go.
I didn't get my lily white butt spanked though.
He's like, eh. I think it's later in the flashback when it's funnier. I don't know why.
It is. She spanks his butt a bunch.
But later on, there's like flashbacks of it happening, and he's
you're discovering what your dick and balls are. So I'm going to whip you for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, this film was initially titled Sleigh Ride,
which they actually
S-L-A-Y.
Then the that Goldberg movie actually stole that. You remember that? It's called like Santa's Sleigh.
Yes, it's annoying.
And it's fucking Bill Goldberg as a killer Santa, but it's like I swear it's like PG-13.
This thing was Sleigh Ride.
Yeah,
was the initial title.
They tried.
TriStar for whatever changed the name to it. I do like Silent Night, Deadly Night better, but Sleigh Ride's kind of cool.
If you've ever seen the sequel to this, it just has nothing to do with anything.
No, they don't. There's even one with Bill Moseley in it, and he can't even save it. They're still fun, though.
I haven't seen that one, but the second one is basically... oh, no, it's in broad day. There's not around Christmas time. It's just, like, supposed to be Billy still, but he's in an insane asylum, but it's
Arrow
a different actor.
released this in Europe.
Really?
Yes, they
on
did.
Blu-ray?
Yep.
Insane. See... well, actually, me and you both, we actually got copies of this Silent Night, Deadly Night, the Uncut that we're watching on Blu-ray from Walmart. So
which is hilarious.
Look in the $5 bin at Walmart. $8, sorry.
$7.88.
Whatever. The $7.88 bin. Yeah, look in the cheap bin of Blu-rays at Walmart, and you can find things like Silent Night, Deadly Night in there. When I found it, I was like, You're kidding me. Like, I actually had to look at it for a minute and make sure it was the real thing. So they did do a newer version of Silent Night, Deadly Night, but they just called it Silent Night, and it has, I think Malcolm McDowell is in it. And I think William Shatner's in it, too. I'm pretty sure he plays like a drunk holiday DJ.
Yep, that's true.
And he just gets trashed the whole movie, which is great.
Have you seen that?
Never seen it, but I know I've watched some, like, I watched the trailers for it, and... read up on it a little bit, and the only reason I wanted to watch it was because Malcolm McDowell is like one of the main characters, and William Shatner is just a drunk DJ.
This film was never available in the United Kingdom ever
until Arrow put it out. That's cool because they of course had to butcher this thing to put it out half the places it did, but overall this I think watching this film really like super cut would be fun too, like you were saying. Like if we watched the TV version of this, it would actually be funny to watch,
Sure, there wouldn't be anything in it.
Nah, that's why
But I mean, just the original cut of this. If you guys have Showtime, you can actually watch it on demand on there right now. This thing has been doing the rounds on there, which I don't know what's up with that. They've got that and the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre right now, which is kind of cool, and they show both of these like late at night. I get home and I'm like, well, fuck it, I'll watch it for the millionth time. Because I'm like that. I like to watch stuff over and over and over again. I can't find anything out about this specifically, but I'm pretty fucking sure that this entire film was shot in Canada.
I think it was.
I don't know how I know that, but I'm pretty fucking sure that it was shot in Canada. Which is awesome because I'm Canadian, if I've never mentioned that. So it's fun that I have a very controversial killer/holiday film that is from my homeland. And I'm going to try to find out a little bit more info about that here for you guys. I think it may be on the special features on this Blu-ray that I knew that. I'm not really sure. Either way, $7.88, you're buying some beer, you're buying some chicken or salads or whatever your food choices are while you're at Walmart. Go grab you a copy of Silent Night, Deadly Night. If you want. It's uncut, so it's pretty awesome because this was never available on DVD like this. Unless you live in the United Kingdom and you know what Arrow Home Video is. But anyway.
I have the 2-pack on DVD that I'll never get rid of. But it's because it took me so long to find on DVD.
Sure.
And then...
is that one uncut? I don't think it is because it makes it sound like this Anchor Bay thing was hot shit.
I'm not sure. But of course the DVD came with a 2-pack. It was Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2. The main reason I got it was actually for 2. Because 2 is just so funny to me. It's a funny ass film, and it's the whole garbage day bullshit. So it was really hard to find. It was really expensive on eBay and Amazon for a long time, and then I guess they started. They put the Blu-ray out and they started repackaging all the stuff, and eventually it turned up at FYE and it was cheap. So I bought that 2-pack, and then sure enough, the DVD crept up and came out too.
Nice.
And here's Billy years later, and now he's working.
This guy did a convention this year you were telling me about.
I think he did the Texas one with Frightmare.
Fuck!
Texas Frightmare. And it was also...
would love to have fucking got my picture with this guy.
Barbara Crampton was there, too. A lot of the From Beyond guys were there, so... Let me see if it's uncut.
I'm trying to go through some other source material here for you guys. I swear to you this was shot in Canada, though. I don't know how I know that, but I'm pretty sure that I've read it, saw it on a special feature, maybe even a Fangoria I had back in '84. Awesome, I had that G.I. Joe costume. Do you see it over there in the Batman? Those were the best fucking costumes when I was a kid, man. Yeah, you wore that plastic fucking thing.
This is the unrated version.
Nice.
With the two...
Did Anchor Bay put that out as well?
Yes, they did.
Okay, so Anchor Bay owns this film. For you guys that don't know this, Anchor Bay used to be the horror kings as far as DVD was concerned.
Yeah, they got,
They had fucking everything.
They did the Phantasm stuff.
They had everything.
And I got all the Phantasm stuff. They did Evil Dead. They did all that stuff. I don't know how it is with distributing, but I guess now the Blu-ray's a different format, and there's more stuff that
this film was yanked out of the theater after only being in theaters barely 2 weeks, which is fucking bullshit.
They made their budget back on it, and there's of course the old school Jabba the Hutt figures.
Okay, basically Corey and I would run wild on the toys in this place.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of classic G.I. Joe shit. I had all that shit as a kid too.
Of course, they roll out the Merry Christmas with the Santa on it, and Billy's like getting fucking pissed.
Let's see here.
Although it's Ira's toys, it's just looks like a fucking sleazeball toy store anyway. It's like there's no windows, you can't even see inside of it. It's just kind of... I would love if they did like a Horror's Hollow Grounds of this movie. Where they
yeah, man, that would be fucking awesome. He'd be traveling up to Canada to do that.
I mean, I know they probably, since they already had a Blu-ray release of this and all that, but that would just be a cool feature to do. It's not a high demand for this film. It's not, but it is a cult film. I think it'd be something. At least to see that Ira's toys.
Definitely.
I'm sure it's just a fucking warehouse. I mean, obviously it is, but it would just be funny. It's like, they got all those toys in there. What they did with them? They're probably just the fucking boxes. And of course, Ira's a prick. He looks like Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
But you can tell he has Just for Men hair because it's like pitch black, Wish I could say that. I don't care about my fucking work. And then I get fired like Billy. The manager knows better, though. He doesn't fuck with Billy. Because Billy's fucking 8 feet tall. And then bam, there's a Santa Claus in the store. It's just like, let's fuck with Billy's psyche day.
I wanted to talk about a Blu-ray that's coming out. This is not something I normally plug, and I haven't seen it. But I thought this was interesting because it popped up on my Amazon list the other day.
Okay.
I wanted to tell everybody about it. It comes out July 12th, so this is not something I'll replug it again when it gets closer in.
Same day as Cat in the Brain comes out.
Okay, which you're excited about.
So this is something you get while I get that.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to buy this. I just wanted to kind of plug this because I think it's interesting. I don't know if I'm willing to spend $25 on this thing, which will probably be $30 at my local retailer. Okay. It's called Just Desserts, The Making of Creepshow.
I've heard of that. They, when I went to, that's a Robert Fleischer thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
When I went to the Mad Monster Party, in March, they did a special screening of it. And Robert Fleischer, the guy that did that film, introduced it and all that stuff. So that was pretty cool.
I'm curious if this is why Sean from Horror's Hallowed Grounds had shot a behind-the-scenes thing, an episode of Creepshow.
Right. Maybe, yeah.
Maybe it's on this. I don't know. But all I know is I just thought this was interesting as hell. I'll go ahead and plug something else that's close in right there. We had mentioned this. Again, I'm getting into August here, and I'll mention this again in a couple months. But really excited about Scream Factory's putting out the collector's edition of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Fucking awesome.
It's a great film.
Donald
it's very
Sutherland
weird.
Goodness.
Kind of slow. But pretty awesome.
Sutherland.
It is.
And he's got the fro. And
it's pretty awesome.
We got some Billy Butt on the TV here on the screen.
He does that.
He's Billy Butt. And he's got a girlfriend, which is, you don't know what the fuck's going on with Billy. And then, he's got this weird... It's actually a dream, and he's by himself in a bed. So he dreamed he had a girlfriend, and then he gets stabbed in the back by a Santa Claus hand.
Two other notable things. One of these is not horror that I want to mention, but is made by a horror legend. Is John Carpenter's made-for-television Elvis movie starring Kurt Russell that's coming out on Blu-ray.
Who doesn't want to watch that? That's fucking great.
So I'm very excited about that. I'm a huge Elvis fan. Grew up on him. It was like my first exposure to music. A lot of people's was probably Led Zeppelin or the Beatles or something like that. Mine was Elvis.
Mine was Kiss.
But literally, it's the first music I ever heard was Elvis because my mom's such a huge fan. But anyway, that and another one that's coming out that I'm super excited about, and we'll probably be screening this for you guys, is Microwave Massacre. Which
we got to do that one.
I've already ordered.
That one's on our fucking cutting room.
It's a great movie. Never been able to get my hands on it. Cheers to the folks out there at Arrow for putting that out.
Their stuff just keeps getting better and better with what
it does. Out. It really does.
They got a lot of gems already, but lately it's just been. They've been fucking knocking them out of the park.
They really have.
Blood Rage being one of my favorites. I think
that comes out Tuesday, actually.
No, Blood Rage.
Oh, sorry. Bloodbath comes out Tuesday.
Bloodbath is another one. It's
Arrow. I get confused. It's got blood in the title.
It's Bloodbath being a black and white film, if I'm not mistaken. It's an older vampire movie, and it was actually there's like 4 different versions of that film that were made, different cuts, different scenes and stuff, all generally the same movie, just released under different titles, and all of those are packaged in this Arrow release. So if you're even remotely a fan of this, or that just interests you that they have so many different versions to check out, if you're just a Blu-ray collector like we are, where we nerd out and just watch all these special features, they have all of those versions packaged on this thing. So go pick up Bloodbath. I've actually never seen it, but I will buy that release, and not saying or promising we'll do an episode of that.
I don't know. Screen that.
I think we'll watch them and then maybe talk about it. Analyze it more than actually doing.
If we end up digging and it's short,
Sure.
This is another thing. I wanted to really say something about this real quick. We're on kind of a time frame when we do these. Obviously, we weren't. Lately with some of this stuff. We've got a hell of an interview coming up for you later. I want to plug again with Tobias from Cut Up / Vomitory, and amazing interview. But anyway, love you for doing that interview too. It's fucking awesome. We hope you guys enjoy it. But we're on a time frame a lot of this. Sometimes we want to watch certain movies. Like before we put Silent Night, Deadly Night in the player today, we were looking at some other stuff and we just didn't have time. Yeah. We were looking at Halloween 3. We've really been wanting to do that one. That's almost a 2-hour film.
I have to go to work and all that, so we still do these things. I always actually do these before work, so I appreciate you guys listening because I'm giving my time and you guys giving me the time back and actually listening. That really means a lot. So thank you for that. But yeah, we wanted to choose something kind of short for this one. Because we've been kind of...
The interview's pretty long.
Yeah, we've been kind of backed up with everything too. It's been a busy week for the podcast, which I'm very excited to put all this stuff out for you guys. It's been really fun for us to do, and I think it's been fun for the guys we've interviewed as well, and it'll be fun for you hopefully to listen to us, and if not, you can skip all the way to the interview and just listen to that. I mean, whatever the fuck you want to do, we appreciate it. So yeah, we went with we were checking some movies and put stuff on the chopping block just to see what was shorter, but actually once we pulled this one out and we figured out, I was like, oh, it's 85 minutes. This is actually really fucking good, and there's no reason to really save it for later because I think it's perfect. This is a fun movie to watch anyway. So,
wanted another July release, and actually we'll probably be screening this one. Is a movie titled Hellhole.
Yes,
and that's all I'm going to say about that one right now. We're gonna probably be doing. I remember this one when I was a kid.
Actually, never seen it, but when
terrifying.
I watched it, like a little thing on it from Scream Factory when they,
did not know that was coming
first
out.
Put the release out.
I saw that. I did not know that.
Really?
No, you're more attached with social media. No, it's great. I liked it as a kid. I mean, it's fucked up.
I go to Scream Factory, shoutfactory.com and look at the new Scream Factory titles. I try to figure out, because usually I don't find out from Facebook. I'll just go on their website and see if anything new's popped up, and that's when I found out about Return of the Living Dead. And since that happened, I was like, oh yeah, I got to keep looking at this page to see if because they'll just throw stuff on there. So, but yeah, Hellhole will definitely do. I've never seen it, but from the description and the trailer, it definitely needs to be something we do on here.
Something I'm really excited about. We've not talked about doing these yet or not, but I definitely would love to do them. This will be my last with the Blu-ray release stuff, and I've mentioned these before. I just want to bring it up again because I'm very excited about
this. Do it, man. People need to know this stuff is out if they haven't.
I want to thank the folks at Universal for finally putting these out. On June 14th, Jaws 2, 3, and 4 will be on Blu-ray.
And I'll buy them all.
Yep. We will hopefully be doing a podcast of at least a few of those. I don't know if we'll be able to do the first one because it's really long. Yeah, it's like a 2.5 hour movie. Plus, but we'll probably be doing. We're definitely probably going to do 2 and 3 though.
First one's great, but 3's my favorite.
3 will get done. I like that one. That one doesn't get enough love, I don't think. Saw it in 3D as a kid.
Usually by the third film, no one gives any of the third films of anything love. But it's. I think that one's definitely my favorite. Of course, I really like. 2 as well, and of course the first. I like them all really, but. Third one being my favorite one that I've seen the most, so we'll definitely plug those for you guys as well. And in this scene, we'll go back to the film a little bit. We're here at Ira's Toys, and they're doing a little Christmas party. And honestly, the direction of this film is very good, actually.
It's very well done.
Because the scenes around, the surroundings, they actually make Christmas, creepy. Like, they show these nutcrackers, and they just kind of show it, and it's really just weird. And you can tell something, the mood's changing in this film. And now that Ira boss asshole is making out with Billy's crush, this chick that he works with that he wants to, jingle his bells on, but he, now she's making out with the fucking boss and wanting to get a raise. You know how that works in real life. So that aspect of somebody getting hot, getting around and blowing the boss for a raise, that's totally happening in this film too. And Billy's starting to get pissed off again. So
I wanted to talk about some new releases for this Friday, June 3rd. We've got Candlemass's new album.
They have a new album coming out.
It comes out probably around the time we air this. That's why I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here.
So it's been the new singer that they've had?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't even know they were working on a new record.
They have a new album, Death Thy Lover, and of course, I want to mention a couple things from the last podcast I want to mention again that are out now currently, and that's the new 6 Feet Under covers album, the Graveyard Classics, as well as the new Death Angel. Again, not death metal, but I think these are things that are worth buying just because I think these are stuff that's not shit. Also, if you missed it, we talked about it when it came out a couple weeks ago, the new Gorguts. It's one song. It's 40-something minutes long, I think. Palladiades Dust, however the fuck you say that. That's out
Palladiades Dust,
yeah,
I guess.
whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it.
Something like that.
Something that's not death metal that I'm going to show some love to because I'm a huge Dio fan, and I'm very fucking excited about this. There's a new Jorn thing coming out.
Really?
Yeah,
this
it comes
year?
out. Yeah, it comes out in like a week. It's called Heavy Rock Radio.
Awesome.
If you're into like classic metal stuff, Jorn Landy to me is the top dog. He also, to give him a little bit of love here, he sang for Yngwie Malmsteen, never recorded with him. But the most notable thing that he did, he filled in on all the Heaven and Hell shows when Ronnie passed away, and a lot of love for him.
He's the living Dio, I think.
June 3rd,
he's like
comes out.
Nice,
and it's really cool. It's all cover songs.
Is it Dio stuff that he puts in there? Better?
Well, it's a crazy. I'm actually going to read the track listing here.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited about it. He does that. There's something going on, that 80s song, Running Up That Hill, which is a Kate Bush song.
Weird.
He does Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Wow.
Which I think is going to be awesome.
I think he'll nail that.
He does Killer Queen by Queen.
Oh man, that's crazy.
He does Hotel California by
by the
Eagles.
Yeah.
He does Die Young by Ronnie Era Black Sabbath.
Wow.
And he does Rainbow in the Dark on
Of course. And he's never done that before, has he?
Not on an album, no.
Wow. That's fucking awesome.
And he does, so yeah, pretty excited about it. There's some other stuff on here too, but yeah, the 2 Dio thing, him doing Die Young is going to be fucking ridiculous. And again, it's not death metal. I know Operation Unplugged on here, but this guy doesn't get any fucking credit. He's from Norway. He's an amazing singer, and to me, if you're into any type of classic metal, this guy has the voice.
And he's fucking Norwegian, he's a badass, so definitely.
And as far as classic stuff, what have you been? You've been listening to anything classic lately, or been kicking the tires on anything?
As far as listening to stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did check out the new Gruesome, and I've listened to it a few times, the Dimensions of Horror, and that's a very good, very good short. It's an EP, but it's great. They nail the death stuff. I think the homage is very well represented with those guys. I've also been listening to the new Aborted more and more, and I think that's retro gore. It's one of the best. I think it's one of the best films. One of the best things they've ever done. I mean, it's pretty fucking awesome, and it's just back to the they do a lot of slammy stuff, and this album is more just straight up blast, and I like that. So
nice.
It's a million miles an hour. It's really good. It's a shitstorm. They add a lot more of they add some more of the sampling stuff, which I like, and of course the EP they put out earlier was Termination Redux, and that song's on there, and I think some of the other songs ended up on there as well, kind of like how they did with Global Flatline and Coronary Reconstruction. They redid the songs for that, so that was pretty fucking awesome, and I really enjoy that. Also, I've been going, I always go back to death metal stuff I always listen to, and I've been listening to a lot of Impaled, which we have Raw Sewage interview on our next episode for you guys, which was very fucking fun, and we really enjoyed ourselves with that one. That one is a full episode where me, the Doctor, and Dr. Sewage, we watch the New York Ripper, so it's definitely a fun listen, so be on the lookout for that. And the Impaled is one of my favorite bands, and I've been listening to just bits and pieces of all their records lately.
They're so great.
Operating Theater and stuff like that, and been actually watching the music videos, and also for this interview, it's brought me back to a lot of Vomitory stuff and Cut Up I've been listening to a lot of, because it's just I miss the intensity. You know, a lot of newer death metal it's there, but it's artificial. You know what I mean? With Cut Up, it's passionate. It's really fucking brutal. Like, they're not trying; they are brutal. It's great. You know. And in this scene, speaking of brutal, fucking Ira here is getting choked out by Christmas lights, which is the way they, you know, incorporate all the Christmas stuff to these kills is fucking awesome. And there he is, fucking dead. And, you know, his chick is all scared. And the uncut scenes of this are so funny because the prints of it, I mean, they had to pull it off of the fucking reel. So it's like you got Blu-ray and then you got VHS quality, and it's just funny. But really enjoy this film, the way that it's mashed up on this unrated version. It's pretty cool. And then also, we mentioned this on a previous podcast, but if you want another new metal release coming out that's pretty fucking huge, I think it's a big deal. It's not death metal, but it's still fucking essential. The new DRI. It's their first. It's an EP, but it's the first one. This first new material they put out in like 15 years.
Wow.
So it's called But Wait, There's More. So it's a very good DRI title. I think it's fun. And now we got we got a nice laceration here to the chest by this chick. Of course, more boobs, which is great.
I've been listening to a lot of Mortician lately. It seems to always come back to them. I'm sure I've said it on other podcasts, I'm a huge Mortician fan. I don't think the band gets any fucking respect. And I just want to plug everything. Anything you can go fucking find by those guys. I don't think they have a bad album. I love all of it. And what I've personally been listening to lately is Hacked Up for Barbecue, which is something I just constantly go back to, which is their debut. And I just really like it. Another thing I've been listening to is a lot of Vomitory. I was listening to some of that, just kind of get my chops up for our interview we've got coming up for you guys later. It's such an underrated band, and just great musicianship, great songs, great production, and it's brutal Swedish death metal, and I don't really think you can ask anything more from those guys. Those guys never fucking looked at their watch. They constantly put out, you know, quality stuff. I think every release is good, and, you know, it's just good stuff. It's essential, as Corey said on a different podcast. I think it's something you guys should definitely check out. But we're real excited to have him on. He's going to be on here a little bit later.
And then at the Christmas party, back to Ira's toys, we've already got 3 kills in like a minute.
I just want stuff out of this toy shop.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking at all the stuff. I'm like, God,
there's a lot of Star Wars and G.I. Joe shit in there.
I want that fucking Garfield coloring book. Is that weird?
No. Hell no, it's not.
Bill Murray goodness at the time. But yeah, it's he just hacked up someone with an axe, so that's a classic thing. Or was it the hammer? I saw the blood spatter. I know he killed somebody.
Pretty sure it was the hammer.
It was the hammer. And now back to the creepy toys. It's just like the direction's really actually well done in this film. He makes it very creepy.
Let's we don't normally do this. Let's actually back that up. I don't want to get that wrong.
No.
I was sorry, guys. I had my phone was almost dead, so I had to put it on charge.
I don't want that to happen. That's the tools here.
Yeah, man. I gotta have my.
All right, so yeah, we got the titty scene with the.
Okay. Not too much.
He cuts
up. There, I stood up and missed one of the best scenes.
He cuts up with the knife, straight up.
This girl been getting plowed, and now Billy's going to dole out his form of Christmas love, which is my form of Christmas love, which is death.
Right. Then here's the
with an axe, hammer,
the fucking manager,
whatever you want to do. This guy, the manager in this should be noted. This guy has been in a ton of shit.
Has he?
I've seen him in so much 80s bullshit, it's not even funny. I don't know if he's Canadian or they maybe took him up there for this, but...
of course, he's a drunken fool, stumbling around, so something's going to happen, because no stumbling drunks live in horror films. Of course, no one's supposed to live in a horror film, but...
This Blu-ray looks excellent.
It does. And then some of the scenes, it looks like it was ported from fucking VHS, but that's, that's how they had to do it, and they did it and packed it in here. So I appreciate the the effort, because, you know, it's weird though. Not a lot of these scenes so far have been like scenes that they needed to cut. It was just like him looking at them, or
look, the whole thing was offensive because it's Santa killing people,
right?
But it's not like it's fucking Kris Kringle. But I would.
A lot of these scenes are like that they added in here that look like they're from VHS. You know, the uncut scenes.
Oh yeah,
are just weird stuff. It is the hammer, so. We had hammer smash face.
We had to rerun for the hammer kill.
That looked like they just squeezed fucking like a raspberry. That's what that looked like.
Indeed.
And it was the back of the hammer, so not the front where you nail in. It's the pointy part. It's pretty great. So
Billy doesn't want to miss dinner.
He doesn't want to miss dinner. So
I see your Garfield. I just saw it. I got to see it.
Is it weird I want the Garfield?
No,
I think it's a coloring book.
I want to wear one of those fucking kids' Halloween costumes, specifically the Batman one they had.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Adam West Batman cartoon. Or not a cartoony looking top thing, but it's definitely Adam West.
Probably the lightest.
Dude, Richard Simmons workout thing.
Wow. Don't want that.
No, but it's weird that it's there. Weird.
See, that's the thing. I wish they would. I don't know if it's on the special feature stuff. I haven't really watched any of it.
There's stuff there, but there's not.
But I want to know where these toys, if they were just the box. It looks like it's just the boxes of the shit, and they just probably, you know, there's the hammer to the head, fucking awesome. It's just like sticking out of his fucking forehead. It's great. And now this chick, I don't even know if she works here or she's just some old villager. I wasn't paying attention, but he's got the fucking axe. It's like the two-sided, like this shit's about to go down right here. And they don't waste any time. Once they're into this movie and they start killing people, the body count's already at 3, and they haven't even left this Christmas party. So
the Molson Canadian thing over your John is awesome.
You like that?
Yeah, I'd never seen it. You told me about it, and I never saw it.
It was $5.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I told you I put it above the can.
It's amazing.
I figured you'd think that was funny. It's like, go to the mountains, the Canadian mountains with Molson.
I did to pee.
Why poo? See, it's just they creep us out with these like weird toys in these scenes. It's like, you know,
I want a toy of him with the axe.
You get your Mr. Potato Heads, and you get the
dude,
you get the Rolf.
There's from the Muppets. That's awesome.
You get the Rolf doll and Kermit and Tweety Bird.
Tweety Bird, yep.
And then they show these creepy ass clowns and like little child dolls, and they really the director really nailed it with it being kind of tense and creepy. At the same time, it's kind of nostalgic to us now.
I wish this had some kind of 3 or 4 disc release. I really think. I do too. I think this film's underrated. I think it's.
Now, I'll give a shout out to Fright Rags, who actually put out a pretty cool set of this film.
What?
They did like a T-shirt thing, and then they had this die-cast figurine of Linnea Quigley gored by that fucking deer. And it was like a little like statue.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there was a little statue of her hanging up from that fucking
deer. Man, when I got on that site, like I saw so much cool shit, but it was all expensive. And
yeah, because it's limited stuff. So that when they do those limited package things, you know, once they're gone, they don't make
them. They were cool though.
Yeah, but it had the figurine of her, like the statue, and then it came packaged in like it looked like a Christmas present, like it had like a bow on it and stuff, and it says from Billy, you know, or something like that.
Oh,
and there was some other shit. I don't know if it came with this film or what it was, but and of course she got fucking arrowed in the chest, which is pretty nice. Something different, you know.
I'm gonna get on there right now and see.
And you can see the uncut scene where it's like they show her dead, with this giant like animatronic Santa thing just kind of over top of her, which again goes back to the thing where Christmas toys can be fucking really creepy.
Yep.
I think a lot of.
Hello, this says thank you for doing business here. Look.
Thank you for doing business with us. That's the thing. Like Christmas is, you know, kind of shitty.
I thought that said Iraq's toys.
Yeah, Iraq's toys. But whenever I go shopping around Christmas time, the toys are fucking generally creepy. Like the decorations and stuff. You know, a lot of that stuff is really just weird to me. And this film captures that. It's just fucking creepy.
Master Charge.
And then, of course, the nun is looking for Billy. And she's just going to find his presents that he left for him. which is dead fucking bodies.
There's the Nutcrackers.
And then it goes on to all these...
Now we're at Linnea Quigley's home.
Yeah, with all these fucking...
Or
Christmas carolers with
whatever
shitty haircuts. Yeah. Like, these haircuts are awful. Like, they're not even from a time period.
No, they are. Those are 80s, man. I remember them.
I've never seen 80s haircuts that bad.
Those are Canadian 80s haircuts.
That's why.
They're different.
The Canada bowls.
They are.
And mops, you know.
They definitely are.
And then here we got fucking on the pool table. It's not Billy. It's but that's Linnea Quigley.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And this guy's got a pretty good mop as well on his head. I guess the carolers don't know who they're singing to because he's trying to get his pole varnish.
I didn't know Fright Rags was based out of New York.
Is it?
It is.
Fright Rags is good for it. It's one of those sites where you have to constantly check out because each month they're gonna put out something.
The Doctor's on there right now.
Some kind of limited packaging. They did a really cool one for Return of the Living Dead, actually, where it came with a Tarman mask that you could put on, like a plastic mask, you know, with a string on the back. But it's still really cool. Came with a T-shirt. That's pretty cool. I mean, you know, that's their main thing is they're a T-shirt company, but you know, they've done special stuff for Reanimator, and they've done really their package deals are what you want from them. They did a Halloween 3 thing with a mask. They did I think the pumpkin mask, and they packaged something with Halloween 3 that they did. I think it came with a Silver Shamrock T-shirt or something like that. I mean, they
don't say anything. I'm on the site with Corey's credit card.
They call it Gore Credit. That's what I call it. But
I think I'm on the right side. It's taken forever to load.
Fright Rags. Yeah, it's you know, it's really cool. They have what's called the graveyard, where you vote for old designs to come back. So the more people vote for, you know, they have pretty much everything. They got a Pieces shirt. They got you know, Halloween. They got Escape from New York. They got Shocker, I think. I mean, they have a Silent and Deadly Night, of course. They got all that kind of stuff. So they have mashup stuff. They have a shirt that's it's the cover of Kiss Destroyer, but it's got Leatherface and Jason and Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger on the front instead of Kiss, and it says Kill instead of Kiss, so it's pretty funny. But yeah, you can go on there and vote for your favorite designs that you want back, and Linnea Quigley had like the best tits in horror when she was this age. It's just
There's a Garfield Halloween Adventure shirt. That's fucking awesome.
That's funny. And I want that shirt.
I used to
too.
love that cartoon, man.
I want that shirt, and I want the coloring book in this fucking film. So I can have my Garfield stuff.
I'm looking through the sale stuff, guys. There's nothing really on here. I mean, if this stuff's your thing, but I'm not really sure what this is. That's fucking Terminator. Fuck that.
See, their package stuff is what's cool about them, is when they put out like a box set thing. You know, like the Silent Night, Deadly Night thing was really cool. And here she goes. Here's Billy, and she's about to meet her demise with this fucking deer head. Any of you have seen this film, and he just straight up chucks that fireman's axe at her like a goddamn tomahawk. Like
Killer Clowns t-shirt. That's weird.
Like double hands it. And of course, I think this is just a straight up random kill. Like, he must have seen the carolers and, you have a Christmas tree in your house, fuck you. Here we go. This is it right here. So you're gonna play the audio for you guys. This is one of my favorite horror movie kills, period. Oh, the unrated shit. You see it like, oh my god. See, I've never seen this cut of it. Jesus. I mean, in the, you know, it looks bad because it's old, but you know, the unrated shit they put in here is definitely, you can tell why they cut it out. I mean, you can see
there's a Leprechaun shirt.
That's awesome. You can see the antlers go through, poking through her fucking flesh and pierce her. It's fucking great.
There's your Pieces shirt.
Yeah. The Pieces one looks okay. Kind of looks like
it
looks like it's from, some of their shirts look like you can buy it at Walmart. It's like it's like pre-faded. I don't really like that approach. I don't like the pre-faded shirts where it's supposed to look old. I mean, I get it, but I'm not really a fan of that. I'm going to wear my shirt.
Stuff's very expensive, though, guys. I'm going to warn you. This stuff's nice, but apparently
$30
it comes with a hell of a price tag on it.
It's about $25.
The shirt I want's $27 fucking dollars.
Yeah, it's because they limited print everything they do, and
I mean, it's cool. It's just goddamn.
But really, where they shine is their limited releasing of their, once a month. I think they'll do some kind of special movie release where it's packaged with some cool shit.
Nice.
Like the Silent Night Deadly Night thing I mentioned, or
I mean, I'm not knocking it. It's just wow. Some of this stuff is very expensive.
And their packaged stuff's expensive because usually it comes with like maybe 2 different T-shirts and some kind of a collectible and something else. Of course, the boyfriend just now realizes that his girlfriend is hanging up by the deer head, and he's challenging.
Wow, everything on here I want is sold out.
Yeah, they only have like a few T-shirt designs available at a time, and you have to like vote to bring them out, and it's a cool concept, and it's limited stuff, but I don't have.
Let's see, guys. We're gonna do a little search here. I'm gonna find out if the shirts that I want are still in stock. One of them wasn't.
All you have to do is go to the graveyard.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and you see which ones that they don't have that you have to bring back.
Well, no, what I'm doing right now is just seeing these ones that they have.
Surprisingly, I only own like one horror movie T-shirt. Is that weird?
No.
I have an OG Nightmare on Elm
Yes.
T-shirt.
Okay, I'm in business on one, which I'm probably going to get.
But Fright Rags would be somewhere where I buy a T-shirt from. It's a little pricey, but it's like I've thought about it before. And there is a.
Going to go back. Okay, so one of them's here that I can get. I'm going to look and see if the other one is. Not sure. We're getting ready to find out.
The boyfriend just got tossed out.
If anybody knows me, they would know whose shirts I'm looking at, which is very simple because there's not a lot on here, but there are. Let's see if the other one is here. Let's see if it's in my size. Because I'd like to actually have both of these if I buy them kind of as the set because I'm a nerd. Not a Big Bang Theory fake nerd either, a real one. And it looks like these are also in stock. Dr. Vincent West will be purchasing both of the John Carpenter The Fog shirts.
Hell yeah.
They're both different, and I just need them. It just looks like something I would wear.
Honestly, after watching that, because I hadn't seen it so fucking long, like, I want to watch the movie again. The movie's so fucking
Isn't it great?
It's a great movie. And it's different, they haven't really... There's no, like, pirate ghost movies that are entertaining like that. And John Carpenter can, make a movie about a piece of shit in a toilet, and he'll make it a good film.
Correct.
And watch it again.
Totally.
I mean, seriously, it's just a great fucking movie, and it's one of those overlooked films where people are like, yeah, it's The Fog and stuff. But it's like, no, it's The Fog. You need to watch the film. It's a good movie. It's not a movie for like.
Whoa, they have a sleepaway camp shirt. That's pretty awesome. It's just weird.
And then Billy just gave the little girl a fucking bloody box cutter, which is pretty nice. It's just
What the hell is killer animals? I don't know what that means.
No idea.
Got to make fun of this. Why there's a 30 Days of Night shirt is beyond me, but whatever.
That's
whatever. Whatever you say.
Never been a fan of that film.
There's a cool. Kill Destroyer shirt with all the classic. I found a shirt I think probably be getting Corey for his birthday. I'm going to let him look at it real quick. Let's see if they have it because Corey and I are both fat, so we need to see if they have it in fat guy sizes for us. We are thin on the podcast though. We look really good. We have the body of like a male model for all you ladies out there. And it's sold out, so I cannot get it for him.
Fuck.
And
that's okay.
It was this.
Yeah, that's the one I just mentioned. The Destroyer one with Kiss. That was their first design I ever saw, and that's where I found out about them. Because I was like, that design is fucking awesome. It's it's Destroyer, but it's all the horror icons.
I'd like to apologize to Corey right now, but let's see here. I'm kind of going through here, see what else they got. They have some nice Halloween stuff.
They do. They did. I was pretty sure it was them that did the Halloween 3 thing, because they had the shirt with the cover when I think it's the Shout Factory cover, actually, the Scream Factory cover, and then it came with a Silver Shamrock mask, which is pretty awesome.
I'll be getting that.
Yeah, that was it. And of course, there's different versions of the shirts you can get.
I'm just glad they have it in my size.
Sometimes it comes with a baseball raglan style shirt.
Probably gonna be doing a Fog Halloween 3 combo.
Keep it Carpenter, And I do like their piece of shirt. It just kind of looks. I hope it's.
It is cool, man.
It kind of looks like a pre-faded design. I don't really like that. So.
Corey wants the pieces, but what he'll be getting is a 30 Days of Night shirt.
Ugh. He's like, no God. Be like, yeah, no kidding. It's no direction, no writer. It's the graphic novels were cool. I've read some of them, but
that Garfield's Halloween Adventure thing is just fucking fun.
I might have to get the Garfield.
There's some nice Return of the Living Dead stuff on here too.
There is, and they did. Of course, I mentioned they did a box set version of that where they had a Tarman mask.
Dude, there's a Funhouse shirt. That's crazy.
Great movie too.
Yes, it is.
It's not what you expect, because it's like you think it's going to be this movie where it's like Killer Clowns or some shit, but it's really just a creepy movie.
I think that's gone. Please don't be gone.
Actually, Funhouse reminded me a lot of Maniac. That film.
I like Funhouse, I think, a little more.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But Maniac is a good film. Cool. Son of a bitch, just got fucked on that one, kids.
Which one?
The Reanimator shirt.
Yeah, that was long gone, I think.
I tried, though.
Of course, we went to McKay's. I found the DVD.
It's okay, the Carpenter stuff's there.
Right. I found the DVD of Reanimator at McKay's, the big one that came with a syringe packaged in it.
You've got that?
And the syringe was taken out. So I didn't buy it. Doesn't that suck? It's like, why'd you even
It was a pen.
Yeah, it was a syringe pen. It's like, why did you even take this from them if it doesn't come with the fucking item? It's like, I don't want the box with the movie. I have the movie, but I don't want to buy the boxed version that doesn't come with the pen. That's just redundant,
So I'm going to be doing both the Fog shirts. I think those are cooler anyway. It's more for me because I'm a John guy.
It's pretty nice.
And
it looks like the fog's rolling in outside because it's pretty looking gnarly out here.
It's fun. It helps me sleep. It should make your job mellow.
Yeah, it helps people not come in the store. So
this right here, kids, is a very, very brutal scene. Corey and I can talk about it here a little bit for you. This is one of my favorite kills, if not my favorite kill in this film.
Really? This part here?
Yes. I'm not really into a Halloween 2 shirt. I'm just not feeling it.
I think that's the most overrated Halloween film is the second one.
I'd have to agree with that.
It's good. Some of the kills are good. I like the hospital thing. I do.
Man.
But at the same time, it's like, it's good, but is it the one I go back to? No, it never is. Whenever I watched Halloween, it's the first one or the third one. Mostly the third.
I'm going to the graveyard. I'm going to check this out.
All right.
It's probably going to piss me off. So should I do a Halloween 3 shirt and a Fog shirt? I think I should just do both the Fog shirts.
What's the 2 Fog shirts that you got?
Well, I don't have them yet, but... You mean to show you on here?
Yeah. What were the 2 Fog shirts?
I'll show them to you right now. I'm not going to look at this graveyard thing because it's probably going to piss me off. Don't look at the graveyard thing, kids. It's just... Just like going to any graveyard, it's just not a good idea.
Well, hey, if you vote for it, then it might.
No, it's fucking cool. Go on there and vote, but
I don't know how.
Just don't take the doctor with you because I'll have one of my crazy rants.
Oh,
we don't want that.
We do want that. It depends.
Sometimes we want it. Most of the time, we don't want it. I'm going to show these to Corey real quick and let him get his. No, let me find these. I'm getting both of them. That's bottom end. I'm going to spend $60 on 2 fucking shirts, but I feel like I'm in a goddamn.
Here we go.
Fucking.
You go sledding and you get fucking decapitated, which is great. And that's not the kill you were talking about.
Both.
It's not the kill you were talking about. It was the.
No, that is the kill I was talking about.
It's great, and then he he rolls out and he's still sledding and he's fucking headless.
And
there's the head. Awesome. That first Fog shirt is fucking amazing.
I like both of them.
It's what's his name?
So you think I should get the one that just says the Fog?
The main pirate. I can't remember his damn name.
Oh, you mean Rob Bottin?
Yeah, Rob Bottin.
Thanks to the info a little bit there that Corey gave us last time when we were you guys kids.
I think it's Blake actually.
It is. That's it.
His name is Blake.
I like both of them. You don't like both of them?
I do. Oh my god.
I think Corey just found something he wants.
It's goofy as fuck, but this isn't the graveyard shit. No, they fucking have them.
Is it gone?
No, they have this shirt. No.
The Monster Squad shirt's gone, which pisses me off.
It's called Funeral Four Wheeler.
Will somebody buy me the Monster Squad shirt, please, off eBay? Anyway.
This is just goofy and I love it. It's called Funeral Four Wheeler is the design, and it's just a goofy cartoon of the tall man.
That's pretty awesome.
It's almost like the Ramones, like those.
It is. It looks like
monster things.
Yeah.
I always forget what they're called, but
I know what you're talking about.
They're called like Psycho something, but they're those little green.
So Halloween
Psycho
3
monsters.
and the Fog, or should I double up on the Fog?
I wanted to look at the other Fog thing. It's basically the graveyard scene where they all showed up. The other one, I like the other one too, but definitely go with the first one.
That actually says it on it.
The colors look great.
The one with Blake, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a straight up. I mean, he's got the sword. It's like at the end when he kills Father Malone, or whatever. That's a really awesome. It's just well done artwork. The other one is more. It looks more like like it came from the actual film. It's like
there's a bunch of them in that one. That's like the whole crew.
Yeah, it's like all the pirates in there in the graveyard or whichever or whatever. If you guys have been listening, just talked. We've been just reviewing these goddamn T-shirts. Feel free to go on there and look at some of this stuff.
I've actually. It is expensive, but I'm gonna buy some shit. Got to give it some love.
I mean, so are Blu-rays, So if we can buy the films, we can surely buy the shirts,
I'll just go ahead and tell everybody out there in the audience, I physically own this stuff when I'm telling you about it, so it gets very expensive.
Yeah.
It's a very expensive habit. I bought, I'm going later today. I shouldn't, but I'm going later today, and I'm going to get definitely going to get the 6 Feet Under, maybe get the Death Angel, depending on how much it is. The 6 Feet Under should be cheap. It's probably $10, so if I can find it.
Right on.
But yeah, it's an expensive habit, but hey, somebody's got to do it. So Corey's saving up for his Fulci film, which is apparently limited as hell from everything I'm reading about it.
Yeah, it's a Grindhouse releasing. If anybody bought pieces early on, you would know that film was gone within a day of its release, and it was jacked up to like fucking $60. Of course, it's back to regular pricing now.
Unlike Bride of Reanimator, which is
that thing is toast. That's toast. If you haven't gotten Bride of Reanimator,
get it. It's
from
$60
Arrow. From Arrow, you're gonna have to pay a little more for it. But
Amazon's got it for $60.
But you go to diabolicdvd.com, I believe, and that is where the Grindhouse releasing stuff is. And you can just go to Grindhouse Releasing's Facebook. They have links for that Cat in the Brain. Need to pre-order that now. I'm telling you, if you're even remotely a fan of that or Fulci stuff or Italian horror or whatever, that film is my favorite only because it's just weird. It's like
I'd like to watch it with you. I've never seen it.
A lot of recuts that he never used for some of his other films.
I don't know if we should do it for a thing, but I definitely would like to watch it.
I think we should. I think it'd be fun. Maybe another.
I want to do The Beyond. That's my favorite Fulci film.
But this one,
is that weird?
Not at all. That was essential, I think. Even if you're not a Italian horror.
That's my favorite.
That's a good one.
That's my favorite. Same as we both agree on this. The best Argento movie, hands down, is Suspiria.
Of course, one of my favorites of all time. The only Argento film I actually enjoy watching. I haven't liked anything else.
We both own. Here's your funny story. We both own the limited Steelbook Tenebrae, and I haven't watched it. I haven't even opened mine. Corey hasn't opened his. I don't know if he's watched it. I don't know.
Nope, never have. Apparently, well, this is actually true. It's from their Facebook, but Synapse that put out that release now the Tenebrae is so low quantity for them that they are no longer taking releases over the internet, orders over the internet. So you have to actually call them by phone and have them mail you a copy.
Get it if you want it.
Yeah, it was limited to what 2,000 copies, I think, or less.
I think it's less than that.
Like 1,000.
It's something real.
And they're also low on the Demons 1 and 2 steelbooks, which.
I have those.
That's Lombardo Bava Awesomeness. That's actually
just
the first one.
Part 1. I don't have part 2. I have part 1 because part 1 is.
But those aren't as low as the Tenebrae, so you can still order the Demons steelbooks from them online at synapsefilms.com or whatever the site is, and then
and buy Red Scorpion while you're there.
Yeah, and they also have weird like granny porns that you can buy. Or
you should get Red Scorpion though, because Dolph Lundgren needs money.
And I'll honestly say I really don't like that company at all. They're Detroit douchebags, but that's for another thing. But I will say that I will thank them in advance because they are going to actually put out Suspiria on Blu-ray for us in the U.S. And yeah, well, I will, I still stand by the Detroit douchebag thing, but, I guess because I'm a New Yorker or whatever. But, there was a lot of Tenebrae confusion when that thing came out. A lot of people didn't get their fucking copies, but,
like us.
Like us that had to wait a goddamn month for something we paid, like, a lot of money.
We literally, and we're not exaggerating, with no information, they had our money, it was paid for, it wasn't like our cards declined or anything, they had our money and we never got it for life. And apparently there was, I don't know what happened, but I got a bullshit story.
Right.
And but it took a month to get it after they had. What bothers me is they could have at least shipped my Demons, and they didn't.
Right, and the whole thing was
because it wasn't on a truck.
There was a bad snowstorm that happened. It delayed all the package. The releases to get shipped out past the U.S. I understand that, but I know it's like two guys that run that whole company and distribute and package all the stuff themselves apparently. But the big thing is like. Maybe have somebody do emails for you and have confirmations, because it's like if I just see that money was taken on my PayPal but there's no confirmation saying that the order was completed, or there's no tracking shipment for something that's like a limited item that's under 1,000 copies. That's
I didn't know we were going to get ours.
That I paid like $40 for. I should get like a tracking information on that.
Did you know? I didn't know I was going to get mine.
And I never got an email saying your email, I got a thing on the website that said thank you for your order, but I never got an order confirmation number. I never got.
I didn't know I was going to get it.
If we didn't have Facebook, then we would have never known that why it wasn't shipped out, and that they.
At the time, I didn't remember because you had to tell me what was going on.
If you're a company, you should probably go to emails first and email people individually. Be like, hey, sorry for the delay, but this happened. It's like I shouldn't have to resort to Facebook to find out stuff about something I paid $40 for. That's limited, and it's like a steelbook Blu-ray release of something that's never been put out. It's like a big deal for horror collectors, so there should have been a more professional approach to dealing with that situation, and that's what that's my only issue with Synapse, and the doctors as well. But I will thank them for putting out Suspiria. They haven't officially announced it yet, but if you bought Tenebrae or any of their releases recently, they have a booklet of coming soon, and Suspiria's on that list of things.
Really?
And I know that they are putting out Suspiria, and they've talked about it. So we will get a steelbook limited release of Suspiria. And Tenebrae is not really one of the, main films of Argento. It's one of the, it's definitely a cult film and Italian horror giallo stuff, but Suspiria, of course, is more well-known, and that's a very essential horror film. People that even remotely know a little bit about horror know what Suspiria is, at least. So
you know what's weird about that?
That will sell out, so be on the lookout for that, and make sure you pre-order that way in advance, because that will sell out. And the Cat and the Brain thing from Grindhouse, I think they have a lot more copies of that, but if you want to get the $30 price, pre-order it now, because you lock down the smaller price. It's going to go up to like 60, like Pieces did for a while.
That thing's not even on Amazon.
Pieces?
No.
Cat in the Brain. Not yet. I mean, it comes out usually. Pieces came out months in advance on Amazon for pre-order. But Amazon fucked me on my copy of Pieces. They sold it from under me. Still kept the price for me, which I was thankful for. I still got it for $30. But I actually called Amazon, and they said, "Yeah, the copies are gone." And I was like, "But I pre-ordered it like 2 months ago." And they're like, "Yeah, well, we're out of stock now." And they didn't do anything about it. They didn't try to rub my balls. They didn't they were like, "Sorry, they're sold out."
You didn't get a gift card or anything.
Yeah, I was like, but I put it's not like I didn't have money on I had plenty of money on my card. They just never charged it, and they just sold all the copies from under me. Wow. So I didn't get a copy of it for like 2 weeks, and
that's fucking bullshit.
That was around the time I was waiting on this fucking Tenebrae thing too. So it's like I had all the stuff I pre-ordered, and I'm just not getting any of it.
Well, if you remember,
so I think
got
that
my
helped.
Pieces accidentally early.
Yeah, you had gotten yours from the store, and a local.
They had ordered it. They had ordered it, and it just for whatever reason I just got it. Like it was just there because I remember showing him a picture of it. I texted it to him. I was like, "Look at this shit."
Right.
So I was pretty happy to get that. And am I the biggest fan of that film? No, but when it's rare and limited like that, I like to buy it.
Yeah, sure.
Everything that they've put out, Cannibal Ferox, Cannibal Holocaust, I'll buy that shit.
Oh yeah, and it's actually it comes with the soundtracks. They always do. Grindhouse does a really good job of packaging these Blu-rays, and I'm a big visual guy. I like having a collection. A lot of the reason is to fucking look at it. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just a fucking geek, but
totally.
I thought the pieces looked fucking great. The presentation of it, and that came with the soundtrack as well, and the film actually looks fucking great. And same thing with Cannibal Holocaust. The packaging's just great. It's just that black, it's got a warning label, and then when you open it, it's like the old, it's really nice artwork with it. Almost rivals some of the Scream Factory artwork stuff that they do. Not entirely, but they both are fucking fantastic at putting out stuff. And Synapse is hasn't really tried. They put out some weird shit, but with the Italian horror stuff, I appreciate them putting out the bawls.
I don't know how they got the rights to it. Blue Underground owned the rights to all that stuff at one point.
I don't know. And then
I guess Blue Underground just gave up because I will tell you something weird about Blue Underground though, and I wanted to talk about this real quick. Blue Underground is putting out a Hammer double feature soon.
Awesome.
And I need to order that. Actually, I haven't ordered it yet. Let me look at that a sec. It's a Chris Lee.
Oh, this scene is so funny. He just back to the Silent Night, Deadly Night. Billy just killed the cop, hit him in the fucking chest, and he flew down the stairs or whatever, and killed him. And then with the bloody axe, he decapitates a fucking snowman. It's just so goddamn funny. This film is just gold. It's so fucking fun to watch.
We've got a serious rainstorm going on.
Oh yeah, and then we got Billy returning to the orphanage. You know what he wants? He wants to kill that fucking Mother Superior who's confined to a wheelchair, which is perfect.
I want him to too.
And he's back. He's back at his old home, and he's telling all these kids. It's pretty morbid because they're all like, "It's Santa Claus," and it's like, well, it's not the Santa Claus your parents told you about. This is Billy Claus. That's pretty. Of course, this is the end of the film. It's pretty awesome, actually. Blue Underground, they were really good about when DVDs, they started putting out all this Italian stuff on DVD. A lot of that was, all the Fulci stuff I have is from Blue Underground. And, of course, the Blu-rays as well. They still do the Blu-rays, and all those are Blue Underground. And do a really good job of it. They pack some pretty good features in there as well. Not like a collector's release by any means for these, but they are, they look really good, the presentation of them. And New York Ripper earlier, I don't think we even mentioned it when we watched it, but New York Ripper looked really good on Blu-ray from them, so that was really nice. And Billy gets shot in front of all these children, so hopefully they all grow up to be killers. They just have to see some dirty sex, and then maybe it'll happen.
Is he the returning killer in the other films, or is it a different kid?
It's supposed to be Billy, but it's not the same actor. This was the only one he did. The second one is just so ridiculous. It doesn't have anything to do with it. It's just like he's in a fucking institution the whole time, and then he gets out and he like shoots like 2 people, and he's in like a sweater, and it's summertime. It's fucking weird. I don't know. They basically just went off the rails after this film with the sequels, and none of them make any sense. But horror's not really supposed to make sense. It's just supposed to have the violence and the sex and all that stuff. So
I'm looking up a release here that I was talking to Chris Lee, the Hammer thing that's coming out that they're putting out,
right.
Which is from out of nowhere because Blue Underground has not put out a fucking thing in a long time.
Yeah.
This is total left field. I wouldn't watch that if you paid me. Anyway,
and then the kid, who's obviously going to be insane, is like naughty to Mother Superior, and then the movie's over. And this actually looks like an old version of the credits. Like the credits are different in this, which is weird that they recut it, I think, because these look like older credits.
This is driving me fucking nuts.
So, pretty cool.
I gotta find this before we say goodbye. This is something that I definitely want to recommend. I don't know how the hell I'm gonna find it. Why the hell are they putting The Crush out on Blu-ray?
What's that?
Thing with Alicia Silverstone where she's a stalker.
Oh God.
I mean, it's funny, but okay. Apparently, this thing's further off than I thought. Return of the Killer Tomatoes is coming out on Blu-ray.
Arrow's hitting it out again with that. That's a great film.
George Clooney's in it. It says.
Huh. It's weird the people you find in some of these films. Guys, honestly, this will be our longest episode by far. So thanks for sticking around and waiting patiently. If you guys are wanting to hear the interview.
Yeah, it's a long one. It's
because we thought about doing a quick film. When we initially did the interview, it was Peter Cushing's birthday, so I wanted to give a late shout out to Peter Cushing for for everything.
God.
Yeah, and originally we were going to do one of those films, but we couldn't decide on which one because they're all fucking.
We will
good.
do one though.
Yeah, we will.
Should if you want.
No, of course we got to, and we have things to come with another. It wasn't a Hammer horror film; it was actually one of the films rivaling Hammer horror, but it had Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. Called The Skull, which if people haven't seen that, and we do have a something special later this year planned for that movie.
We're planning it.
Be on the lookout for that. I'm sure we'll plug it a lot more in time, but you heard it here early on that we do have something planned for The Skull, and we'll definitely bring you some old school.
I've got to find this release for you guys.
Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing stuff.
All right, guys, I believe I can. Well, is that it? This is so frustrating when you there's a release you want to mention that's coming out, and I can't find the damn thing. I found it. Okay, here we go. This was the big build-up. I'm so happy that I found this. This comes out June 28th, and it's Circus of Fear / 5 Golden Dragons. Christopher Lee and Klaus Kinski. 2 horror legends buying the shit out of this. This is some good stuff. I'm gonna pull it up here. I got the specs even here from Blue Underground's kind enough to give some of the specs on it if I can actually get the damn thing to pull up here. But I thought these were Hammer things, but I don't actually think they are. They just look like Hammer things. Either way, be on the lookout for that. I'll mention it again later down the road. It's Circus of Fear
Is it that other company
and 5 Golden Dragons. No, it's Blue Underground. Anyway, guys, thank you for being patient with me on that.
Now that the doctor has filled his prescription, we will gladly finally bring you.
Yeah, to an end of a very long podcast. And again, we don't normally get to do this, but we were so happy, and I want to again thank Tobias for being a guest and doing such a great, long, informative interview with us. Check out everything he's done. He's an amazing drummer, but the Vomitory stuff to me is, if you don't know what it is, it's sacrilege. Cut Up is just a fantastic band, and if you're an Amon Amarth fan, he drummed on that. I'm not an Amon Amarth fan, but
he did that Drums Viking
they know
record,
his shit. So,
and he did the session drum work for that. He's friends with those guys. They're pretty close by in Sweden. He'll tell you about that. And we hope you guys enjoyed the interview. We're not going to do a recap of this one. We're going to just ride this one out for the next hour and just let you guys, just take a listen. And we hope you enjoyed the interview. And we'll be back next week where we do our New York Ripper episode with raw sewage of exhumed and impaled fame. So
very fun.
Yeah.
We guys look forward to that one. That one's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so enjoy and tune in next week and stay fucking gory. Thank you all so much.
See ya.
We are here with Tobias of Vomitory and Cut Up fame. Sick-ass death metal drummer. We're huge fans of the band. Cut Up is that first record, The Forensic Nightmares, is actually almost a year old now. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's right. We recorded it in, I think it was November 2014.
Wow.
And then, so it was finished for quite a few months before we actually landed a record deal and then got it released.
With Metal Blade, right?
Metal Blade Records, yeah.
Awesome.
Have you guys done a lot of touring for Cut Up?
No, nothing, to be honest.
Oh, no.
Wow.
That's a shame, man. I'm telling you, it was one of my favorite things I bought last year because I turned Corey onto it, and he's like, holy shit, because he didn't realize, who it was, and that once he found that out, we listened to it a bunch. I mean, track for track, it's fucking brutal.
It's one of the best death metal releases. Really carries the torch into modern, death metal. Because I think, in my opinion, a lot of death metal lacks these days with just straightforward death metal stuff. And I think Cut Up really keeps that momentum going with death metal. It's just a nasty record, man. I'm really happy with that record.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that's what we were going for as well. I mean, we obviously like that kind of death metal, straightforward style.
Oh yeah.
But with a little twist,
Yeah. Twist of the knife.
Twist of the knife, yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff that gets released now focus so much on being technical just for the sake of being technical, I think.
Right. I totally agree with that.
I think the whole point with death metal, as far as I see it, gets kind of lost if you think that way. I mean, you still need to have that kind of the bulldozer vibe. I mean, the bulldozer feeling of the music,
Even that's an understatement for that record. I mean, you guys are fucking like train.
The production on it's great too. I mean, it sounds great. I was listening to it in my car on the way here to talk with you today, and it's fucking nasty. It's just so good.
Yeah, I agree. I totally love it. We really hit the nail there. We recorded it in a local studio here in our area called Big Bawls Productions.
Okay.
Studio. And then we had another guy mixing it for us, Ronny Björnström, who he was actually playing guitar for Eon for a short while.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah. Very talented guy, and he really squeezed the best out of that recording, and we're really happy with how it turned out. I mean, it sounds crisp, clear, brutal, and heavy as hell, and still have an old, organic feeling.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
It's definitely classic death metal. That's what I think why I like the record so much. I'm 40, so I'm a huge fan of it. I feel I totally agree with you where I think a lot of death metal stuff's gotten too technical and too, hooky in places where it should just I like it more. That's why I'm such a huge fan of your drumming. I think it's just straightforward and nasty, and that's what I like. So
cool, thanks.
Oh,
I mean, it's nothing wrong with being technical or playing technical death metal. I mean, it's very entertaining to watch those bands play live because most of those bands, they pull it off even live, and it's really impressive and all that. But sometimes I think that the actual songwriting suffers.
I agree with that.
So bands try to be so technical just for being technical.
Well, see, that's why he and I, we don't like the band The Faceless, but we love Gorguts. Gorguts is technical, but I think Luke LeMay is awesome, but I can't get into The Faceless. That stuff to me is just shit. I would rather listen to the Cut Up record or old Vomitory records than listen to The Faceless. If I'm going to listen to me, technical death metal is Gorguts or, Cryptopsy.
Yeah. And those bands have also gotten a lot of the old school death metal stuff out of the way as far as their records are concerned. So, bands like Gorguts and stuff like that, they had their death metal records out before they started getting really in depth with technical stuff. So they kind of bridged it together. But as far as just coming out the gate technical, I mean, you can either pull it off or you can't. But I'm more of just a straight death metal guy. And speaking of the Vomitory records, I mean, when I heard Primal Massacre was one of the first death metal records I ever listened to, and that it hooked me, man. That song, that's just fucking brutal shit, and I'm really still to this day a huge fan of all that stuff. So definitely appreciate those records. All those records are pretty fucking awesome.
Nice.
A lot of I wanted to ask you, do you like any newer death metal bands, or are you kind of like me where you stick with the classic stuff, or?
Well, I tend to stay with the classics, but I try to. Of course, I like some new bands, but they play old school style.
Like who all do you like? I would love to hear this.
The first that comes to mind is a band called Lik, which is corpse in Swedish, Lik.
Nice.
They're from Stockholm.
Okay.
Some well-known faces there, like Chris. He used to be the drummer for The Resistance. They split up recently, I guess. And some more guys. I just don't remember who they are right now, but they're pretty good.
I'll check them out, definitely.
That's total old school Swedish death metal stuff.
What's
they're a new band, but they sound old,
Okay. I'll have to definitely check them out. What's some of the classic death metal stuff you like?
Well, not very surprisingly, maybe a lot of the Swedish stuff, of course. Left Hand Path with Entomb.
Oh, God, it's a great album.
One of my favorites, man.
That's like the holy grail of death metal for me.
I actually met Dan Seagrave that did the artwork for that record.
Cool.
Very cool guy. Of course, he did Stillborn by Malevolent Creation, and he did a lot of the Morbid Angel Records album artwork. I mean, he's a legend just in artwork fame. Really cool guy.
Oh, nice.
Do you like any of the classic American death metal stuff?
To be honest, not much of it. Because I grew up with but when I got into death metal I think it was in 1989, 1990, when Entombed released their first album.
Right.
Then got into Dismember and then Unleashed and Grave.
Nice.
And, more the Swedish and European bands like also Napalm Death and Carcass and
of course.
Roar, of course.
Oh yeah.
That kind of stuff, and also Vader.
Yeah, we're big Vader
fucking
fans.
Love Vader, man. They're another.
Vader fucking rules.
They're another fucking bulldozer, as you said earlier. They're one of those bands for sure.
So at that point, I wasn't into any American bands at that time, as far as I remember. Well, I liked some of the early D-side stuff. D-side for sure, but not much more.
Oh.
It's more like maybe the last 10, 15 years, let's say 15 years, when we started touring for real with Vomitory, when we got to tour with some of those old American bands like Cannibal Corpse and DSide as well.
Awesome.
That I, more discovered what it was all about. I think that style of death metal needed some time to grow for me, I think.
Right. That's understandable.
Yeah, because it's obviously a different style from the Swedish and European style, I think.
It's more thrash oriented than it is melodic and more guitar savvy. It's a lot more. The American stuff's more like just thrash, based from like the old hardcore black metal stuff too. There's a lot of influence with that. So.
But nowadays I totally appreciate and love Cannibal Corpse stuff.
Oh sure.
And like Deicide and some more bands, and actually one of the best death metal bands ever, in my opinion, were Exhumed.
Oh, I love those guys, man.
This is funny. You're going to get a kick out of this. We're actually getting ready to be talking with Ross.
Oh.
Yeah, it was on the Gore Metal record, and a lot of the Exhumed earlier stuff. So he's going to do an episode with us as well next week, which would be awesome. We're actually doing an interview with him tomorrow, so that should be fun.
I don't know if you ever liked Impaled that he was in too.
Yeah, I actually haven't heard.
I think you'd love Impaled.
You probably would. It's definitely kind of a throw to Carcass. But different. It's still kind of a completely different take on it. It's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know I've heard them at some point, but I some reason I kind of forgot about them.
Right.
Yeah, well,
Sad to say.
They're pretty cool. Did you ever like, just kind of just out of nowhere, did you ever listen to Monstrosity? Did you like them at all?
Yeah, we actually toured with Monstrosity at one time.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, 2002, we did this Thrash 'Em All tour. It was
awesome.
Monstrosity, Vomitory, and a bunch of Polish bands, and I think,
that's fucking awesome.
Czech band or whatever it was.
I'd love to have seen that. That would be great.
Really nice. Yeah, it was nice. And what was that album called? Dark Purity.
Oh, it's a great album.
That is good.
That's a killer album.
Oh yeah.
I still do. It's great.
Yeah, did you ever listen their last record they put out in 2008? Did you ever get to check it out, that Spiritual Apocalypse album?
No, I didn't.
It's actually, you might like that a lot. I think it's great. It's just nasty.
Oh, cool. I really like Lee's drumming a lot. He's a great drummer.
He really is, man. I think he's fantastic. I'm blown away because I know a lot of people like the earlier records that George from Cannibal's on or whatever, but I'm more partial to after George left, honestly.
All right, yeah. I think the guy that sang on the Dark Purity album is really, really good too.
Oh yeah,
he's great.
It's nasty. Yeah, it's great.
Now, did you guys, party with those dudes? Did you have a fun time touring with those guys?
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, we got along real good, and in Poland.
Awesome.
So it was. I don't remember how many bands we were, but like maybe 7 or 8 bands on that tour.
Crazy.
Yeah, and there were some really, really, really good Polish bands on there as well, like Trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And it slipped my mind now. That's some really, really good.
Of course, that's Vader and Decapitated Country over there. So.
Yeah, I mean Poland, they know their death metal. They know how it should be done.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Them and Sweden and Russia are like just God. They have the drummers and they have the fucking just brutal. It's awesome.
Yeah.
What was the last tour that you did over here in the States with Vomitory?
We actually never toured the States at
really?
all.
I did not know that.
We did one show, though. Only one show.
Really?
The entire career, yeah. That was at Maryland Death Fest in 2007.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, just after we released Terrorize, Brutalize, Sodomize album.
Great fucking album.
Yeah, it's a great album.
I actually saw you drum at Maryland Death Fest with God Macabre.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like yesterday.
Yeah, and I had no idea until I was, researching some stuff, and I was like, that was fucking Tobias from Vomitory that I saw drum for them, which was pretty neat. So, you guys, I had actually never heard God Macabre before until I went and saw you guys there. So, yeah, that was a great show, man. You did a killer job behind the kid on that.
Thanks. Yeah, that was a really nice show, and I'm actually quite impressed by myself.
Right.
Considering I had the worst hangover I think I've ever had that morning and that day.
Right.
So just like, I think it was maybe an hour or 30 minutes before the show,
Mm-hmm.
I vomited like cascades.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
shit.
So you brought the Vomitory anyway to the...
I was pale like a sheet in my face, and my face was green and all that. And the other guys, they thought that, shit, we have to take him to the hospital. But
What did you drink?
a lot. But nothing. I mean, I could still stand up and all that. It was nothing unusual. I don't know. Maybe It was probably the food.
Yeah. Maybe.
No.
Or the combination of both, maybe,
Maybe that. And the bumpy ride in the shuttle bus from the hotel to the festival site.
Sure.
So probably contributed.
Now that
that was a really nice show. Very, very nice.
Yeah, I enjoyed your guys' performance. I thought it was really, really awesome. That wasn't really a fan going into it, but
I'm not sure what you meant by that question.
But I enjoyed your performance for sure. It was definitely memorable to me.
Did you play your own kit at that show, or were you playing like just a kit that was already set up there for you?
No, that was just the kit that the festival provided.
Yeah. Okay.
Huh. And did you enjoy the states when you were in it and the festival itself, or?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, the festival, you get to meet so much nice people.
Right.
And, I'm used to play at European festivals.
Oh, which I'm sure is,
I've done that for more than
10 times the size.
now.
Yeah.
So it's still the same playing on that Maryland Death Fest, but at the same time it's kind of different.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a really nice experience, and got to see a lot of people that I know through Facebook and through other bands and so on. So
Sure.
It was really nice.
Wanted to tell you, we watched both the videos we found. We both seen them. We watched them again just last night before we would be talking to you today. The videos you did, the two videos you did for the Cut Up record, they're fucking awesome. And
Yeah,
we also visited the past and we watched the In the Morgue video as well. The Vomitory.
Regorge in the Morgue video.
Yeah.
If you haven't, if people listening haven't seen it, go watch it, because there's near the end of the video, you guys are just spewing shit, and it's really nasty and it's awesome. What was that you guys had?
Serious.
What guys? What did you have that you were spewing up? What was it actually?
That was actual puke.
It was?
No.
I was like, that's fucking hardcore.
I don't remember. I think it was a mix of yogurt, some yogurt, fake blood, and I don't remember, maybe cereal flakes or
Right.
something like that.
Was it tasty?
Oh yeah, it was sweet and nice.
It looked the exact opposite, but surely it didn't taste too bad enough.
No.
I wanted to. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That was okay.
That's funny. So, I wanted to ask you, how did Vomitory come about for you?
How do you mean?
Well, I'm just curious about the inception of the band. I don't know a lot about it, and you try to read anything about it, I can't really find anything about it. I was just curious,
thought I would ask you, man. I've been a fan for a long time. I was curious, just the inception of the band and how you got involved with it. And
well, the band started in 1989 by my big brother, Urban.
Okay.
Which he's a beast as well on guitar, man.
Yeah, I was the guitar player, the rhythm guitar player for the entire.
Oh yeah.
The entire career of Vomitory. So he started the band with the bass player and singer at that time, Ronnie, and they started out with no big ambitions at all. They just wanted to play brutal music together. And they couldn't find a suitable drummer, or they couldn't find a drummer at all. Actually.
Oh wow!
Right.
So and I was already playing in another band, which was more like a speed thrash kind of band.
Sure.
So I jumped in and just temporarily, so they could jam with the drummer until they found someone who could become a permanent member. So then they booked the first show, and then I said, "Yeah, I'll do it with you." And well, after that show, I kind of remained in the band, and so that's how I got into Vomitory. That was like maybe half a year after the band was started. So the first show was in April 1990.
Wow.
Here at a local thing here in our home village of Forshaga. And we played, there was a short set, like 20 minutes, and we did 4 cover songs of Sodom.
Awesome.
Hell yeah,
great.
And, that kind of music was not very well known here. So, when the security guards saw the first stage dive in their lives,
they're like, we got our work cut out for us,
Yeah. So we played Outbreak of Evil, Sodomy and Lust, Christ Passion, and Bombenhagel.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was the set list for the first Vomitory show ever.
That's fucking great. And had you played shows previously with your other band that you jumped from, or were these your first live gigs?
No, I had done quite a lot of live shows.
Okay, so you already had chops a little bit from that. That's cool.
Oh, yeah. A lot of youth clubs in the area and so on.
Sure. Yeah. Now, is that place still around where you played your first show at Vomitory?
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
It's like I don't know how to. It's I don't know how to explain it in English or.
Right.
But it's like house for the communion, for the people here.
Sure.
It's actually, if you translate it into English, it's called the people's house. So
okay.
There's a cinema there, and there's like a live venue, and you have all different kind of.
So it's all in one place, basically.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's not like a huge place, but they have a restaurant there sometimes, and nowadays they have like music quiz evenings.
That's the trivia night stuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
More the modern feel to it. And do they still book metal shows there and stuff?
No, they don't.
No, they've moved on from that, I guess.
Yeah.
What was your? I think the catalog, the Vomitory catalog, is so deep. To keep talking about them a second, if that's okay. It seriously is a very. You guys are so overlooked, in my opinion, and I constantly try to tell people, I'm like, Vomitory is so fucking groundbreaking and just head forward like a fucking battering ram. And I was curious if you had to pick one record, what is your do you have a favorite or?
Oh, that's such a tough question, I mean, I love all 8 albums very much for different reasons,
Right.
Yeah, because they represent different periods in the band and also different periods in my own life. you
Right.
know. But can I pick 2?
Please,
Yeah,
you pick as many as you want. You pick all 8 if you want.
But I think that Blood Rapture is definitely special.
That album is nasty, man. That's good stuff.
As well as Carnage Euphoria. Those
Nice.
2 are probably my favorite ones.
It's awesome. Now, is there any significance with those as far as the time in your life and when you were writing the stuff, or?
I think that Blood Rapture, that was, but also you have Revelation Nausea.
Yeah.
because I think that Revelation Nausea, that's where we, nailed the vomitory sound.
Right.
I'm
sure it feels great when you know that you're defined as a band, just by
yes, exactly, because
going back to that,
It's where we set our style that we would, stick to and become known for, I think.
It's awesome.
But I think that Blood Rapture, that album is so fucking solid.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely no fillers on that one. Every song is standalone, really, really, really good. And our performance is really good, and the production, I like it a lot. And it's just a killer album.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Those are both great. Your catalog is hard to pick. As Corey was asking me which one was my favorite. I don't think I can pick. It's hard to pick from that catalog. It's so deep.
Mine would be Primal, just because it's the first one I heard, and it really I was already kind of into death metal stuff at the time, but Primal Massacre almost single-handedly sent a whirlwind into death metal for me. That's what drew me.
We were listening to that last night.
Yeah, that's what invested me into the whole death metal thing. I was like, this Vomitory band is, I just kept going from there with that.
Makes me really, really happy to hear this.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. And honestly, I can also say that the Opus Mortis 8, the last record you guys did, you guys ended on such a high note. That album was amazing. So to end on that kind of note, I don't know if you guys planned on that or what, to that you knew it was going to be your last record, or did you did it just kind of happen?
Not when we recorded it. We didn't know that it was going to be our last. We just kept on going and writing, and we tried to make the best album possible at the time.
Right.
So the album had been out for maybe, let's see, it
was 3 years, wasn't it? Because it came out in 2011, I think.
2011, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the beginning of 2013 that we decided to call it quits. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I can
we
say.
didn't know it was going to be our last album. But I mean, when we look back at it, it's a hell of a swan song, I think.
Yeah,
it is.
Like
it's
I said,
solid
man,
fucking.
You guys
nasty.
definitely ended on a high note. I mean, I think, not to say it's your guys' best record, because it's hard to choose, but I think you guys definitely ended on top of your game and on top of death metal. Period. Listening to that album again is just really an essential. Honestly, if you could name off some essential death metal records, especially in the last 10, 15 years, that album would be on the list for me. So to tell somebody who's trying to delve into music and death metal, I would suggest that record, and all the Vomitory catalog. But to listen to it from beginning to end, it's cool to realize that you guys really gave it everything till the very fucking end, and still stands the test of time, and really the bar is still set because you guys released those albums. So we definitely appreciate that.
We really gave it all till the end, because we came to the decision in early 13, like in February or something,
right.
That we were going to disband, but we said that we all agreed that we should, continue and play as much shows as possible during the remaining part of the year.
Sure.
So and make one special farewell show by the end of 2013, and that's what we did. I mean, we did as many shows as we could, and we also made it to Japan. And
wow.
Actually, the last tour Vomitory ever did was a tour in Japan. Was
it your first time out there?
Yeah, it was.
Wow. And you guys were well received over there, I'm taking it.
Yes, definitely.
Because those fans are a whole nother breed of I mean, those guys fucking eat, sleep, and breathe metal. You won't ever hear about it, but if you watch live shit, they're just fucking insane.
Yeah, they're so grateful, and they appreciate the music, and they appreciate you being there, and they're so, thankful and friendly and polite and all that. So it's really it was a great experience on many levels, I think.
It's awesome you guys got to do that.
Yeah.
That was your last show in Sweden.
That was in Karlstad. That's like the main city in our area.
Awesome.
So it was. We had it was like 600 people or something like that. So wow. It was God Macabre actually.
Yeah.
The first reunion show.
Now, is that how you got? Were you guys friends before, or is that how you got? How they landed you from Maryland Death Fest, or?
No, we were friends since before. I mean,
okay.
God Macabre, they were active during the late 90s,
right?
91 or something like that. They are from the same area as we are, so
awesome.
We hung up at the same metal shows, and we also played at the same youth clubs occasionally, and so on. So I know them since many years. So
it's awesome.
Yeah. So on that last Vomitory show, it was God Macabre first, and then was General Surgery, and then it
love
was
that band.
Vomitory. Yeah, that was
that's a killer.
Cool evening.
Good way to go out, man. That's fantastic.
We saw a YouTube clip. It looked like there were, and I couldn't. That's why I wanted to ask you a snippet of your last show. And there are so many people on that stage. I was curious if you could tell us who some of those people. I had no idea who all those people were. I don't know if they were fans or other local bands or.
Well, most of them were friends and from other bands too, I guess. Some of the guys were from General Surgery, and some from God Macabre as well, and some random friends who made their way up to the stage.
That's awesome.
Like during the last song.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a fantastic evening, to be honest. So yeah,
it seemed very
great
fun.
way to end this that chapter in our lives. It was really nice.
It seems like it was really cool. Now, out of that, from Vomitory ending, what happened to go into the Cut Up project? How did that come about?
Well, as soon as we had decided to eventually split up Vomitory, me and Eric, we started to talk a little bit, because none of us were planning on stop playing, at least not I.
Right.
So
thank God, we're glad you're still playing.
Yeah, and I knew for sure that Eric wouldn't stop either. So we actually didn't say so much, but I think both of us understood that. Yeah, I think we have to do something together again after Vomitory. Start up something new or see what happens. So after we didn't talk so much about it, as far as I remember. But after the last Vomitory show, I think just a few weeks passed, and then we talked again about this. And so, you want to start up something new? Yeah, okay, let's do it. So then we were working on Cut Up, or what would become Cut Up. So we called Anders Bertilsson, an old friend, and who also was a session live guitarist for Vomitory a couple of times.
Nice.
years. Yeah, so we knew he was. He's a friend, great guy, great guitar player. So that was a no-brainer.
Oh yeah.
Give him a call. So it was like, hey Anders, do you want to join? Yes.
He already knew.
Yeah. So and then we just a short while later we asked Andreas, the other vocalist and guitarist, to jam with us in the rehearsal room. So yeah, we did that, and that was also okay. Let's do it like this. Now we have a band. Okay, cool.
Glad you guys did, man.
Write songs. We actually had the opening track on the Cut Up album is Enter Hell.
Yeah.
That's actually the last Vomitory song that I wrote.
Really? Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it was written for Vomitory, and we actually, before we decided to split up, me and Eric and Peter Vomitory, we actually rehearsed that song a few times.
Wow.
Yeah. So when we got together to Cut Up, we needed something to play together. So let's take this song, my Vomitory leftover.
Right.
So we did that, and also Andreas had one song that he sent a demo to me many years ago. Not many years ago, but like a couple of years before. That I really liked, because he was starting up another project at that time and asked me if I wanted to play drums on it. And I said, yeah, I want to do it. And then didn't hear anything more about it. So
right.
Then I came to think of that song, and hey, can we try that song? Because it's a killer song. Actually, the working title on that song was The Killer. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and that song is Burial Time.
Awesome. Just you have a video for that song online.
Yeah. So
it's a great song.
Those two songs were the first that we played together, Enter Hell and Burial Time.
Did you write? Was it you and Eric? Was it everybody writing the Cut Up stuff, or was it somebody specifically? Or
well, the music. Most of the music is written by Andreas, actually.
Okay.
He did. Let's see. The majority. So he did like seven songs, I think.
Wow.
I did 2. Enter Hell and A Butchery Food.
And do you write the guitars too, or you just?
Yeah, the guitar.
Wow, that's awesome.
I play guitar too, so.
It's badass. So you're fucking sick at that too, man.
And then Anders did 2 songs as well.
Right.
And Eric did most of the lyrics, and I think Andreas did like a couple of lyrics.
The lyrics for that are pretty visceral, also very awesome.
Yeah.
What about the cover art? I love the cover art for that.
Cool. That's made by a Polish guy. Actually, the same guy who did the Opus Mortis 8.
Really?
Cover. Yeah.
He did a great job. That thing, I mean, that cover is great.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's nice.
Definitely emulates the brutality of what's on the actual record, and you guys as a band now and everything. Just seeing the cover, I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good. And then you pop it in, and it's like, Jesus Christ,
What was it like? And I was just curious about this. How did you end up playing drums on that Amon Amarth record?
Yeah, I know the guys.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, we toured with them, with Vomitory, back in 2002.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
It's like
we did a month together with them in Europe.
Death and Fire days for them, the Versus the World.
Versus the World, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the second we stepped on board that tour bus together, we instantly got along with the whole band, and yeah, they're just great guys, and we had a great time on that tour. So I mean, and then we've been running into each other at festivals and other shows here in Sweden and so on. So
just kind of stayed in touch with them, I guess. You know.
Yeah, in a
Awesome.
way, yes. And then they needed a drummer, and I called Ollie and we talked, and so that's how it came about.
Nice.
We're working with them, and I was with the band during the whole writing process and all that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was nice. We had a good time. Yes, nice.
I'm a huge fan of Amon Amarth. I do like them. But the new record, I noticed there's something I really, really enjoyed about it. And it's a lot faster than the stuff they've been putting out. And then I noticed it was you on drums. So I was like, that's why I liked it so much. It's a little bit of a different element in it, you know, than their previous stuff.
Yeah, I mean, my style is... We have different styles of drumming, obviously.
Right, yeah.
And I think that...
you pull it off, I think you...
As far as I've read in reviews and so on, people seem to like it, and I'm very happy for that.
I loved it. I think it's one of their better albums to come out in recent years. They haven't really released a bad record to me, but this album stands out in the last few years, I think, is just a really good album. It's solid, for sure.
Did you... One last thing I wanted to ask you, are you planning any... what's next for Cut Up? Are y'all going to do another record? Are you going to do some shows, hopefully, or...
We have just a few shows booked. To be honest, we thought that it would be a lot easier to get shows.
Right.
Once we got the album out, but it proved to be harder than we thought. So I think we only have a show here in Sweden next weekend at a festival.
Okay.
Awesome.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Is that one you're doing with like Ghost and all that and the bands like that?
Yeah, Ghost, Napalm Death, The Haunted.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, it's a really, really great lineup on that. That's so that's really, really, really nice. And we play in Holland in July.
Awesome.
Together with Immolation, the female bands.
That's awesome. Love Immolation.
And Ross is a great dude too. He's a
everyone
fun guy.
I haven't met him in person, but I read interviews and that online. And
he's really laid back. On stage, he looks huge, but he's actually kind of short. But his hair is like
down to his ankles.
Somehow his hair is taller than me and him. But he's a really cool guy, man. I think you'll be able to quote unquote cut up with him and have a good time. So.
Yeah, so we only have like 3 shows confirmed right now, but we're trying to get more shows, obviously.
Hey, we hope you do, man. I hope you guys, if you can land it, if it's already hard in your neck of the woods, but get some state shows in the U.S. would be amazing.
Yeah, we're getting there sooner or later. I'm pretty sure of that.
I would love that. Yeah, that would be great. So,
just need some more time, I guess.
Right.
And probably a new album as well.
I can't wait for that. I hope that comes as quick as you can do it.
Yes, and that's what we are planning to do, because let's see, I don't say too much. No, but actually we're writing new songs. We've been doing that for a while, and we're planning on entering the studio this fall.
Oh, that's great news.
You heard it here, guys.
If things go as planned, we will release a new album during the first months of next year.
Oh, that's great. That's great news.
February, March, or April, something like that.
Oh, that's amazing.
It depends on the label which release dates that are available.
Right.
But something like that.
Awesome. That's something definitely to look forward to for the death metal world is you know, because last year, I mean, when you guys put out Forensic Nightmares, I mean, that was such a bombshell, it was such a surprise, and it was
hell of a debut.
Yeah, it's just really awesome new thing that came out, and honestly, you know, it's got the intensity of Vomitory, but it still sounds fresh. You know what I mean? And
I'm glad to hear that because I think
different.
I think that too. I mean, obviously,
the spirit's there.
The Vomitory spirit is there. I mean, why shouldn't it be? I mean, Eric is on vocals.
Oh yeah.
I play drums, and yeah, and the songwriting is. I mean, Andreas is. He was not in Vomitory, but he's a huge Vomitory fan, and you can obviously hear that he's influenced by our stuff.
Yeah.
And,
it's a different monster, but it's equally, if not better, you know, in a lot of ways. And it's just.
I totally agree with you when you say that it sounds fresh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It does, but you're still flying the Vomitory flag, and I love you for that.
Oh, cool.
It's like the best of both worlds. It's great,
especially for last year. You know, I think you probably hear a lot more stuff, you know, in Sweden and overseas and stuff, but here in the U.S. there's just so much. It's just overcrowded over here as far as death metal coming out, and you know, there's a lot to check out. But we usually just fall back on the older stuff, and there's not a lot of new, fresh stuff that's interesting or as exciting. And then when that Cut Up record came out, it really gave me a sense of hope for what's to come, at least from you guys and from death metal as a whole. I think if something like that record can come out, you know, in these times, then there's still more to come, and not just with Cut Up, but with other stuff. And I think, you know,
I'm very, very happy. I'm very flattered to hear that.
And it's no bullshit. That's honest opinion, man.
I had that exact same feeling when I heard Black to the Blind with Vader.
Right.
Back in, I think I heard it in 99.
Mm-hmm.
98 or 99.
Right.
Yeah, it was 99. That's at that time I had, you know, kind of beginning to lose interest in death metal because it wasn't, not much good music did come out at that time. So
right.
Then the Vomitory singer at that time, Lucy, he played that album in the car when we were going somewhere, and I was completely blown away. First and foremost by the drumming.
Oh yeah.
From Doc, but then I mean the intensity and the speed and the overall brutality. You know, what the hell is this? It's Vader. Vader? I used to. I had heard Vader many years earlier. You know, from the Ultimate Incantation album. I didn't dig that so much. So I was really surprised to hear that was Vader.
Of course, yeah.
And then they became my new favorite band.
Yeah, they're still one of my favorites also. 99 was the year that Eric joined Vomitory, correct?
No, it was in 97.
Oh, 97?
Yeah.
Okay. And he did all of it up until the end, and then with the Cut Up stuff, he's just a monster in that shit too. I mean, it sounds almost different, but it's him, you know.
Yeah, that's a cool thing with Cut Up, and that was something that me and Eric were very determined to have two lead vocalists in Cut Up when we started. So, I mean, having two lead vocalists in a death metal band is definitely not something new.
Right. And you're an Exhumed fan. That's what I think of as, you know, the Exhumed element of it when they, you know, but it's still different. You know, you guys add a whole new thing to the table with that.
Yeah, none of us had worked with two vocalists before, so it was new to us, and it opened up for a lot more musical possibilities and more, you know, diversity in the sound and all that. So, yeah.
Definitely adds to the brutality of the mix of everything. The meat of it, you know, is There's a lot to take in and all that, and it's very, it's fucking delivers tenfold, I think.
Man, I can't thank you enough for doing this. I'm sorry if it ran over a little bit. It means a whole lot to us to have you do this. It's an absolute honor to have you do this.
We can talk more. I'm having a blast here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys know what you're talking about, and you know the band and the bands.
Yeah.
For Vomitory and Cut Up, so I mean, it's always fun and chat chat with people who are into the bands that they're interviewing. You know.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
And we consider you one of the essential parts of death metal, period. And you know, I think a lot of people have kind of just skipped over Vomitory or aren't really familiar with it. But I mean, you know, it's how can you not have something, if you're a death metal fan and a name like Vomitory doesn't stick out and appeal to you, like, oh, I gotta check those guys out, that sounds pretty awesome, you know, or Cut Up even, you know. If you go into Vomitory now, if you've never heard them, and then you're like, oh, they also have this Cut Up band, and that's what they're doing now, and then you listen to that, and you're still on the train for that. So it's pretty cool how things worked out. I think, you know, that here today, you guys are still putting out music. You know, it's 24 years later, and you're doing the Cut Up stuff, and it's just as good, and it's different, and it's new, and it honestly keeps death metal alive, man.
We're happy to hear that. Cool.
It's the Metal Blade. I was happy to see that you stayed with them. Was that an easy thing to do, or was that complicated, or was it just like, oh, it's you guys, we gotta have you?
I mean, it would. I mean, since we worked with Metal Blade for so many years with Vomitory,
right?
It would have, of course, have been the easiest thing to do to just, hey, you want to sign us with our new band? But we actually considered. No, we didn't really consider much, but we sent our stuff out to other labels as well,
right?
Just to see what they could offer, and to see if they were interested at all. You know, just to see what our chances were.
Sure.
But and of course we sent it to. I mean, the Metal Blade guys were, of course, very interested and curious to hear what me and Eric were up to with Cut Up.
That's great.
Their new band. So, yeah, of course we sent some stuff to them too, and they absolutely loved it. And they gave us an offer, a really good one, as well. So we didn't really think much of it. So we just said, you know, at rehearsal, and yeah, we go with Metal Blade. Yeah, okay, let's do that.
I think it was a good choice, absolutely.
But it makes sense.
Yeah, of course it makes sense. I mean, we know the guys, especially the European staff here. We have worked close with them for so many years and so on. So it definitely makes sense. We know that they're good with promotion and all that, and they. Yeah, I mean it's a good label, and also it's a classic metal label.
Yeah,
of course,
definitely.
And in a way, it's a stamp. To have a Metal Blade logo on your album is like having a stamp of approval in a way.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. 100%.
Definitely.
So yeah, it really feels good that I'm very sure that we made the right decision to stick with Metal Blade.
I think so. Yeah, it's
cool to, you know, continue the spirit of Vomitory and still be on Metal Blade is huge, you know.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
My only frustration, this is, you know, stateside on it, is I felt like the Cut Up record got lost in the shuffle over here with some of their, you know, deathcore dog shit and some of the other stuff they press. Because over here they press all this Whitechapel shit and this deathcore stuff, and I felt like your record deserved more than that. I was frustrated as a fan here because it didn't seem like they even tried to promote it stateside for me.
I see. Yeah, I mean, it's a different market there compared to Europe.
It is.
So.
But for people like us, at least, we dig to find this stuff, and all we had to do was, find out you guys were doing this band, and that was already something we wanted to hear, and the overall product when we bought it, it's definitely delivers. So we, it takes some digging in the States. The market is different, but if you're real fans of this shit, then you're gonna find it somewhere.
We always find it.
That's a good thing with being on such a big label as Metal Blade as well, because even though you maybe don't see it in the press as much as other bands on the same label, it's still available.
That's right.
The album is more available than if we had been on a smaller.
Oh, definitely. I just, like I said, I don't want to, offend you with it. I was frustrated with them, stateside just not doing anything with it and then pushing some turd, when it's like, this is a fucking masterpiece. It frustrates me as an older fan, and they don't care about me as the older fan. They would rather, push this, deathcore dog shit or whatever it is, some thing like that or whatever. Because I was just blown away when I got it, and I was just so happy. And I'm glad the situation's different for the distribution in Europe, because I'm sure it is. Metal's so much bigger in Europe than it is here. So
yeah. Well,
what I consider to be real metal, but.
Yeah, I think the deathcore thing is not as big here as it is in the U.S.
Because you guys are smart. That's why the fans are smart. You guys are smarter.
You guys are very fortunate over there.
You're not impressed with boy bands with 8-string guitars.
Exactly.
That shop at Banana Republic or whatever.
Look like a bunch of fucking golfers, but yeah, I don't.
Because somewhat over here, it's a little bit more of a fashion show, where it used to be, you wear your all black and your whatever leather you can put on, and, you want to keep it, whatever. I'm more of a band shirt and camo pants kind of guy, the old school, but that's just been, how I've always been as a person. It's never been like, well, I have to dress this way. It's like, that's how I've always wanted to dress, but, nowadays they kind of, it's more casual, and it's, the deathcore ones, they pander to a young audience, so the guys that play the music look like they're in high school still, and they're like, mid-30s, so I don't know, I just don't take it seriously, because
They look like hipster assholes. It's like.
So I've always been into the older, grittier death metal. It's like guys with, hair longer than myself, and, wearing the camo and then representing another death metal band on them, so, not to say that's what you have to do. It's just people that are fans of that style, that are actually producing that kind of style of music, are going to, that's what they're going to be like. And,
They're more interested in how they look than what's on the record.
Right. Mm-hmm. No, I'm sure there's deathcore bands in Sweden and stuff like that. Have you played shows with any of the younger bands or, stuff like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there are. I don't know, to be honest, because I don't keep up with the scene as much.
Right.
As I used, obviously, because get older and all that. But yeah, there are deathcore here as well. I'm pretty sure, but probably sucks as much as the.
Yeah. It's just different. I mean, I get it. It's just not for me and people like us, I guess, more into the straightforward extreme stuff. I don't think just open chord stuff is heavy to me. I mean, for like 1 year period in my life, it was something new, so I gave it a chance. And some of the deathcore bands really do like the death metal elements, and they try to add that as well. But I don't know. It's just I've always been more of an old school guy myself, and still fall back on the older records. I don't really I don't really listen to too much new stuff and newer bands. Not on purpose, just, But the Cut Up thing is definitely something I've fully invested in listening to, not just because of the Vomitory background, but it's just really good fucking death metal that is what I want to hear, So I guess that's why the newer stuff is harder for me to get into as far as newer metal is concerned. So, stuff like that just is what catches my eye.
I think most of those guys are just trying to get a paycheck, and that's why I have so much respect for you and your brother and just everybody you've ever played with, just for just keeping this thing going. Like I said, I'm 40. It's I don't want to see it die, and deathcore to me is not keeping it alive.
No.
I
agree.
It's just another thing,
It's a money machine, is all it is, I think. But
well,
they're like you get a kick out of it. It's like the fucking hair bands in the '80s. They just wouldn't go away, Or fucking grunge.
So the next hurdle in the way of extreme metal, I guess. But trying to.
It will die.
That's funny. That's fun. I totally agree with you. Glenn Benton said the same thing from DSOD. He's like, it's a fad like grunge. I'm just waiting for it to fucking die. Man, like I said, I feel like we're keeping you. I can't thank you enough for doing this.
No, it's just fun, It's I really enjoy talking to you guys.
Oh yeah, man, we can't thank you enough for doing it.
The name is Phantasm Podcast.
Hey, this is Tobias from Cut Up. You're listening to Phantasm Podcast.